the line is probably empty space because you got to have your 6 feet.
Oh,
You
yes,
know what I'm
between
saying?
cars, so they
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Dude, in Massachusetts, I wouldn't fucking doubt it.
Right.
All right, dude. We're
Wait,
fucking.
isn't it back open out here or not yet?
Not really,
No.
dude. Connecticut, it is though. You're from Connecticut,
Yeah.
in Dilli, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Do behind the mic. What up? What up?
Yeet.
Yeah, it's open out there, isn't it?
Oh, nah, I don't think. Well,
In Connecticut?
like what? As far as what?
I don't know. I said, here, probably
that's
want to bring this
closer.
in. Yeah, just about like a fist away.
All right. bro.
What was I thinking? Oh, like stores and shit. Is it more open out there? They said
I
it's like
thought that,
fully.
because aren't the clubs back open till later now? So like 2.
I don't
again?
know.
The
You hear
bars?
anything about that?
I don't know.
We don't go to bars really.
As
No.
far as I know, it's still 2. Or
2
no,
o'clock.
not 2. 9.
9.
9 is like the curfew for businesses right now, I think.
Yeah, it's like 11 in Connecticut. I think.
Yeah.
We're in there, but yeah, Dilly. For those of you who don't know, you run the stew down
Yep,
and do a few other things. And then and he was asking me, "What's this guy do?" And I'm like, you know what? That's why I'm having him on because I know you're all over the place.
Yeah.
You put on a great show. Let's talk about that in a second. But
Yeah.
tell people what you do. You know.
Man, I mean, music is my first thing, you know.
Yeah.
Started with the studio with my partner E. It actually started off with 5 of us. We were 21 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, actually, man, my story is pretty long. You know what I mean?
Dude, well, we got time. We got time, and you seem passionate about what you do.
Yeah, man, this is my life.
You're involved with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
You put on a great show.
Yeah.
I had a fucking
Well,
blast.
that was really actually those are my guys. Like I mean, of course, I probably put on some of the first shows they've ever done, but that was kind of that Tails.
Well, that's what I'm
Tails
saying.
kind of
You and
organized
Tails
that.
go way back, and you weren't bullshitting. You're up there. You're telling you and him known each other since he was 13 15 years old.
Yeah, he was in middle school, so
Yeah.
he was trying to say 14, but I don't think you must have been pretty.
Yeah,
stayed
maybe
back
12,
a couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, his mom dropped him off at the studio, and I charged $35 an hour back then. But it was like, you know what I mean? And
you were
then-
just starting off too, probably, or
Yeah,
not
I was
too
just
far.
starting off. Well, I was just starting off with my own studio. So
Yeah.
like I play guitar, so I've been playing music.
Okay,
since
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do you produce? Do you make your own music as well?
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
a
musician?
producer. I'm an artist. I'm everything.
shit.
Yeah, but I just kind of it's hard to wear so many different hats sometimes.
Right.
Especially some hats you don't want to wear around other people because they might get discouraged of your other hat now.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
have this hat on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I learned that early on. So as far as like production and stuff goes, I started playing guitar when I was like 11. You know what I mean? And I always wanted a band, and I was like, didn't have any friends that played no instruments. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I learned about making beats and shit. I'm like, I could play all the instruments. You know what I mean? Like, so I got a laptop when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Started making beats, and from there I just started recording people in my house and stuff.
Is that predominantly the musical work that you do? Do you like rap at all or sing at all, or is it mostly?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
do
you rap
everything.
too?
Yep,
Holy
yep.
shit!
Yeah, I could. I even got some stuff out and stuff, but it's been a while. I'm actually
No
right now.
kidding.
I'm.
Do you have a link to any of it we could put in the
Yeah,
description?
yeah,
All right,
definitely.
Cool.
But
Well, it'll be there, guys. So
yeah, so you know, what I mean, when I got out of high school, actually right before I graduated high school, my best friend died.
oh fuck.
You know what I mean? He was in a car accident, drunk driving accident. And,
Oh man.
my other friend was driving. He went to jail. So it was just like a messed up
Yeah.
experience. Like at 18 years old, then you kind of realize, damn, what do I want to do with my life? You know, I could be dead tomorrow too.
Right.
So I'm like, I was going up to.
Well, considering it's your best friend, you could have been in the car.
Yeah, I should have been. It was weird. It was probably he passed away on June 18th.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be with him. I was like, I felt, for some reason I got sick. I got a cold in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And I just like, I'm like coughing and shit. I'm like, we were about to go get a 30-pack, go get drunk and shit, go to hang out with these girls.
Right.
And I just got sick weirdly. And I'm the type of motherfucker, you can ask anybody, I'm never sick. And even if I am, I'm not sick. I'm still doing what I got to do. And
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, I just got to go home. I went home, woke up the next morning, was getting a call from like an old girlfriend, like from high school, like from like middle school.
Right.
And she calls me and says, Austin's dead. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I was just with him yesterday. I called it down to his house. He wasn't answering his cell phone. So I'm like, what the fuck? Called down to his house. His dad's like, yeah, Johnny, we had a rough night last night. Austin died. Hung up the phone.
Fuck.
So I'm like, what the fuck? Ran
Damn,
down
bro.
to
Dude,
his
that's cold
house.
cut too. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it was. Well, you
by
gotta
the way.
imagine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, my business partner now is his cousin Ian. You know, we were all real close. You know, and it's weird, man. It's like a lot of this shit might not have happened if that experience didn't happen, and it's
Yeah.
probably one of the worst experiences that I wish never did happen. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I was on my way to go up to well, I did. I went up to University of New Hampshire for music education.
No shit. How'd that go?
I stayed for one semester, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck this!" I was
Yeah.
like,
What was unattractive about that experience
"Well,
that made you go like, yeah, fuck
the
this?
story I just told you." So my best friend just died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that was already pretty heavy.
I had some money saved up, and I brought like about 4 ounces of weed with me that I
Yeah.
smoked in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that I like came back, got more weed, and fucking smoking too much weed, and was just like,
Not
not
really
even that.
motivated.
I'm not even like
Just
that.
not
Like,
in the right
I don't
mind
think there is
state to
nothing
focus.
too much about smoking weed, but I just
Yeah.
like extended all my resources, and I was just like, bro, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be up here in the woods. Like, I want to go to like the city or something. I want to produce. I want to record people. Like, get back into that, because I started recording myself at that point.
Okay.
And before that, I was recording friends in my house, just literally into my MacBook, like into the
Yeah.
like into the shit. Like,
Right.
then I got a fucking. When I came back, I started working for my dad. He does construction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just stacked
Always-
up some bread and moved to New York and went to school out there.
Oh shit. Where'd you go to New York?
It was called Institute of Audio Research.
Okay. So that's when you got pretty serious about it, and you're like,
Yeah, like I had bought Pro Tools right before that, and I'm like, and then
Damn.
I'm looking at Pro Tools like, what? Like
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
open Pro Tools, it's
Yeah.
empty, and you're like, what the hell, you know? And I'm like, so
Yeah.
I started recording a little Pro Tools, and I'm like, wow, I gotta learn this shit. So
it's amazing how much depth it takes to you know properly use those kinds of software.
Yeah, it's like when
'Cause
you're
you can
first
do
jumping
everything.
into it.
You can
know?
do everything. So the more options you have, and the more ability that that software has, the bigger the learning curve. Because,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, and especially when you're just like, so I went to school and I get a good hang of it. I'm learning like what a compressor EQ is,
Yeah.
and then you realize, wait, this is just the stock plugins.
Yeah.
Now there's like thousands of more plugins. But then you learn they all basically do the same thing. It's just different. They just
Right.
look different. You know what I mean? But after school, it was only 9 months, and then I got a couple internships. You know what I mean? Like some bullshit ones. I went back to school. I'm like, I need a
What's
better
an
one.
internship like in the music industry? That's interesting.
So my first one was like, all right, so they're like, yeah, we got this studio in Brooklyn for you. You can go, you can internship,
So you
have
actually
an
got to
interview.
sit in on like professional studios, or
Yeah, so this one, I got
Or bigger
better
budget?
stories than this one.
Okay,
but
I
this one
gotcha.
was like, I go in there, I'm sitting there. I go to the studio. I have the interview. He hires me and shit. I smell weed when I go for the interview, so I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. All right,
Yeah.
he's gonna be smoking and shit." So I go there.
It's always
I
a
go
good
there
sign. It
smelling
really
like
is,
weed
though.
my first day, and the guy's like,
What?
"Hey, man, you can't really be. I could smell the weed on you. You got weed on you or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's in my backpack, but like, you know, I mean, I'm not." He's like, "Well, yo, you don't bring that anymore." And like he was smoking. I see like
Yeah.
a bowl on the table. So I'm like, "What the fuck?" So then
That's weird.
we're sitting in the session. It's a fucking audiobook session.
Oh.
So it's some lady just reading it, and I'm just sitting
that's
there in there.
rough.
Yeah, so I'm like
Yo,
literally,
do you
bro.
remember what book it was?
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Like,
fucking maps of
Yeah, it was
meaning.
some
It was
stupid-
maps of meaning, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that book
That's a
is
long
a
fucking
trek.
book. 30 hours, right?
Bro, did you listen to that one?
No, I just got into it, and I
Bro,
haven't.
that one's a trek.
I do. I love audiobooks
30
now.
Yeah.
That's the
fucking.
ironic
Is it
part,
30
bro.
hours?
Like,
Can you confirm that? It's about
yeah,
30
it's
fucking
something
hours.
like that, yeah.
Imagine that, dude.
I just
30
listened
hours.
to the Elon Musk book.
Oh, by Ashley Vance.
I think.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a really good one.
Yeah, I didn't know so much. He's a fucking
Yeah,
crazy dude. bro.
baller.
Yeah, I didn't know he had to,
To
like,
say the
hands
least.
in PayPal and shit. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not many people knew that he had started SpaceX before Tesla. In fact,
Yeah.
he really wasn't
I
even
didn't
on
know
the
that
map
either.
until Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
But between PayPal and the entire transaction,
and that Zip 2 shit.
yeah, Zip2 was before
Yeah.
PayPal, I believe, and then PayPal. It was all transaction.
Yeah.
And that was a massive industry. In fact, one of my clients, he's very very much older gentleman now, but he was the CEO for the same company that uses gosh, the same transaction system that Chase uses and
Or like some
Amer
type of software that
yeah,
they
well,
developed.
yeah, because all these
That was such a
transactions
crazy
are
like Wild West to
yeah,
fucking get money. Like you could have just,
dude,
if you knew fucking coding, you could
yeah,
have fucking,
you were in.
yeah.
You're fine.
But yeah, but so the audiobook session,
Yep.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, I told him it's lunchtime. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza, and I never went back. And I'm like, fuck this, bro. I went back to school the next day. I went back to school. He's calling me and shit. I just didn't pick up.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like, fuck this. I went back to school. I'm like, I need something better. They're like, well, Daddy's house.
Daddy's house?
This is Puff Studio.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
it's called Daddy's House Recording
Okay.
Studio.
Okay.
They're like,
That
Daddy's
sounds
house
like a
is taking
joke
an
we
interview.
would say to his
Right?
daddy's house.
Yeah.
Diddy.
It almost sounds like
Dad,
it.
yeah.
But he's like, they're hiring, or not hiring. They're looking for interns. They're taking interviews. You want to interview? I'm like, hell yeah. They're like, when?
Absolutely.
They're like, you can go
Yeah.
right now for an interview. So I
Cool.
went there. It's on 44th Street. It's like my school was on 14th Street, and then that shit. It's up.
Nice
like,
little walk.
Yeah, I took the train. I
Yeah.
took the train up there. But
How long did you live in? What part of New York, by the way? Sorry.
when I first started going to school, I was in Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then I had to take the bus and the train. And then I met some friends at school, and one of his roommate Pat had moved out, so I was like, "Yo, move in with him."
Yeah.
That's my boy Bear. Shout out Bear. He's out in Philly. He's from what is it? Right next to Camden, Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
I gotcha.
But he runs an ill studio out in Philly. But I moved in with him in Crown Heights, and then I was in Crown Heights for
Okay.
basically the rest. But the last 6 months was pretty crazy. Like I wasn't even, I didn't even really have a spot. I was just kind of like going back to Connecticut and coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like staying in the studio.
What
type shit.
happened with everything with P Diddy's thing?
Oh, so I had the interview.
Yeah.
They're asking me a bunch of questions like, they want to basically find out if you really want to be an engineer, or you just want
Yeah.
to try to be around Puff or be around whoever.
Yeah,
So-
because I'm sure that's the case most of
Yeah,
the
a
time.
lot
It's
of
like, yeah,
times.
let's just get in the limelight, and then, oh
Yeah.
yeah, well, P Diddy, of course, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
no one's gonna turn.
So they realized I wanted to do it, you know what I mean, do this shit. So they asked me, they're like, when can you start? I'm like, whenever, let me know. They're like, all right, go home and get changed. Puff has a party tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he has a big lounge. There's two studios, like a beat room,
Yeah.
lounges on all the studios, and then there's like a big lounge in the front that could fit like 100 people in it. It's like a big.
Holy shit.
So it's like he'll have parties and shit.
Was
there.
it nice in there?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I mean, it was a little rundown. Like the Studio B was actually like,
Yeah.
if you watch videos like with Biggie in his studio, it's that same exact
they didn't
studio.
change it.
Nothing changed, bro. It almost looks
Wow.
like the couch. Like the
So
couch
it's like
is like
vintage.
sunk
They
in.
probably keep it there for just.
Well, it's shut. They shut it down.
Oh,
It got shut
really?
down.
Why is
yeah.
that?
Probably a couple of years ago. It kind of like at first when I was there, it was no public sessions. It's all Bad Boy or anything that Puff's lining up. Like if
Yeah.
he has writers, producers, it's like you can't call and get a session unless you know somebody like that will get that for you.
Right,
It's like some
right.
under the table shit. But then when I stopped, they started doing public sessions. They had like a new studio manager come in, and I just it's like the original studio manager when I was there. He told me it's like, dude, it's like $40,000 a month to run this shit.
Jesus.
Because the space alone is like $20,000.
Yeah, I was
And-
gonna say in New York,
yeah,
that much
it's like
square
a whole
space.
floor on 44th Street.
You can get about
Mm.
90 square feet. A 90 square foot apartment costs you like $1,800 a month. Probably.
Yeah, I just
someplace.
started renting. We just got a studio in New York.
No
Actually.
way.
Yeah.
You right
yeah,
now?
me and my partner. Yep.
Dude, that's
it's right on
huge.
8th Avenue. It's got right right down the street from Puff shit.
How
So
is
it's
that?
like
Is
kind
that
of big.
expensive?
It's pretty. It's around what you were just saying. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like around two. You know, it's
Fuck.
some money, but
And
we're
it's
just
not.
trying
It's
to
probably.
invest.
Is it huge or is it kind of like?
It's good size. But it's not huge.
No,
Definitely
yeah.
not. Like Puff's shit was like the whole fucking floor of that building.
yeah. But
But-
you don't need much room. I
Yeah.
mean, really, for a studio, less room is probably more manageable because I mean you're
Yeah.
working with sound quality at that.
Yeah,
point.
exactly. But
It's the
you know,
equipment that needs the space, but
Yeah.
the sound quality is all about the
yeah,
right. You would
Yeah, well, no, I'm shit. Like the booths and Puff shit were like bigger than the control rooms. It's
Fuck.
crazy. Like you could fit a whole band,
fucking put
like
a
a
dancing
big-ass
a
band
whole
in
a
that
whole
shit.
a whole
Yeah. And they would just have the
That's nuts.
baffles around it. You know what I mean? Like around
whole
the
dance
artists.
crew in there.
Yeah, for real. Like them shits are big. But yeah, so I got the internship. I came back that night. I changed. I had some brand new Timbs and shit.
Nice.
And we're fucking. I say that because at the end of the night, right? You ever heard of Mr. Chow's or like Felipe Chow's?
Oh.
It's like a nice.
I mean, Mr.
restaurant.
Chow, I recognize. Oh no, okay. So you're talking about a restaurant. I'm thinking of Mr. Chow from The Hangover.
Yeah, it was a fucking. Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that guy?
It's like a nice ass Chinese restaurant. It's like catered. He has his party catered or whatever. So like at the end of the night, they let the interns go get some food. I'm eating a plate of food, right? And this writer, I didn't know him at the time. His name's Jack Knight. He's like, you could look him up. He's done mad like R&B shit. He comes up. He's like, guess how much that plate would cost if you went to that restaurant? I'm like, I had a big plate of like rice, some like chicken and shit. He's like, $300.
Why?
I don't know, bro. It's just like expensive ass
Holy
plate.
shit.
I'm like, I had a fucking chunk. It's
That's
like, yo,
if you went to Mr. Chow's, or is that where you got your?
Well, it was like they catered the spot. So they had
Oh.
the big the big like whatever
Damn.
tinfoil
And
thing.
so you're just like, oh, sweet, some Chinese.
Yeah, they're
food.
like, yeah, take as much as you want. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna throw it out and shit. Well, you're gonna throw it out. Like
Right.
just so take what you want and then throw it out.
Yeah.
So I took mad. I'm like, fuck, throw this shit out. And then I'm fucking throwing this shit out. I take like the big Tupperware thing.
Yeah. Here's make sure it's
breaks.
in there.
Breaks, it like falls down and fucking spills all
No!
over me. A
Yeah,
bunch of
that's the
grease
worst.
all
Oh,
over me,
no!
all over my brand new Tibbs and shit. My first day.
That's day one, man.
Yeah,
There
day
you go.
one, bro. I was like,
Nothing but uphill
whatever.
from there. You're
Yeah.
good to
Fucking
go.
Those clothes are unredeemable at that
Yeah, I was
point.
like,
I mean, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, it was grease, like
Kicked.
fucking kicked all over. I'm like, whatever. So I'm eating my plate with the grease all over me, and the dude says that. I'm like, well, shit.
Might as well eat, you know.
Yeah. So
Fuck, dude.
that was crazy.
Well,
though.
here's, I guess, the question you get asked probably the most. But did you get to meet P.
Puff,
Diddy?
yeah. Well, so they tell you that when they give you this big talk, like, don't even look at him, don't say hi,
Really?
this and that, just because,
Just
you know what I
'cause-
mean?
yeah,
You never
yeah,
know
people-
if he's in
people
a
always
bad
coming up,
mood,
yeah.
or some weirdos would be like, hey, you know what I mean? I of course like acknowledge. I feel weird not acknowledging
Yeah.
someone, so I'm not gonna like look down.
Right.
But I'm not gonna sit there. Hey, how you doing? How was your day?
Can I have
Like,
a picture?
Yeah.
That'd
like-
be fucked up. Bro.
yeah, they'll tell you he'll tell you get the fuck out
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But I interacted with him a couple times. There was one time, you know the rapper G-Dep?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
G-Dep,
but
he had
I'm
that
not too
song,
familiar.
Special Delivery. I want that special delivery.
Probably.
Lil
dude.
Wayne just remixed the beat and did this.
Yeah.
Used the beat, but he was one of the big bad boy artists like at the time.
okay.
Yeah, on the roster, but not at that time. He was like lost. He was on drugs and shit. He shows
Yeah.
up at the studio one day, and he's just he's like all distraught and shit. And Puff's
Yeah.
like just wants to help him out, I guess. So Puff's like, "Yo, come on, you can write a verse. Come write some verses to some of these records. I'm trying to get some rap verses." So he's like, Puff's coming around the studio like, "Does anyone got a mobile rig on them? Anyone got a mobile rig on them?" And I always had my shit in my backpack.
Yeah.
I had my laptop, my
Yeah.
interface, and everything.
Meaning,
so,
just like something like this.
yeah,
good to
basically,
go.
I had this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so I'm like, I got my shit. He's like, all right, bet. We go in the lounge. We're in the lounge. I set up my shit. Fucking, he gives us the beat, and G-Dep like listens to the beat one time, and then sits there in silence. I'm like, you want me to play the beat again? He's like, no. He just sits there for 10 minutes, yo, and then he's like, all right, go ahead, record it. I record him. This dude spits like a 32-bar verse, like one take, like.
Wow.
Yeah, like he was like.
Off the top, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean, he
like,
didn't write nothing
yeah,
down?
he didn't write nothing down,
Holy
nothing. He was just
shit.
sitting there in silence. I'm like, what the fuck? So he did that like 2 times, and then I went and told somebody that, you know, because Puff said when you're done with something, tell me so he can come listen. So then Puff comes in. I'm fucking trying to play the shit. I get the beach ball death on my computer. You know, like the.
Oh
the
no!
spinny
It just
thing.
sits there.
Yeah, so I press space and it's like, and they've told you, they'll be like, yo, if Puff comes in and says, if he says record or play and you take too long, like, we've seen people kick him out the
Oh
studio.
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Fucking.
I'm like,
and then it's just
I'm
loading
going,
on.
yeah, so he sees me
No.
like going crazy, trying to do like control alt delete and shit. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, bro. He's like, calm down, man. He's like, I see the circumstances you're under. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, restart your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let me hear it. So I restarted it and fucking played a song.
It didn't go. It didn't.
He
lose
was,
it.
yeah, he was chill. He was
Okay.
like, I didn't lose it. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
the session back up
Thank God.
because he was like done for a while. So
Yeah.
I made sure I.
That's
saved
the one
shit.
thing. You probably had a Mac, I'm assuming. That's the
Yeah.
one thing I do like is that it usually just saves without you ever having to do anything.
Right. Well, Logic. What do you use? Logic.
I actually use just fucking
GarageBand?
GarageBand.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I'm
yeah,
only
we'll do that.
recording this.
Well,
So.
Pro Tools only does a session backup every 5 minutes, so sometimes
Oh,
it could fuck you.
fuck.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yes, but
And I will say GarageBand is the only one that doesn't save. I think I have to manually save it.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, Logic would like always would
Like Final Cut, you never have to save it. It's
yeah, it
always
just
saving.
stops. Yeah. But yeah, Puff was like, so he sat there with us and listened to the shit and was like, so I was like, oh shit, man, they're not true, like, you know about what they're saying about him, but
Yeah.
he's not like that.
Well, it's
like
probably
the TV
because
screen,
the people
you know?
who are facilitating the operation are like, way more high strung because
Yeah,
the
they see
level of
more shit.
responsibility that they
Yeah.
have, and they've probably seen a
It
lot
could
of
come
this-
back onto them if somebody does something stupid.
Right,
probably,
right.
so
Because they're the ones who let you on, probably in
yeah.
the first place. So
Mhm.
it's their
Yeah.
neck.
So that was like one of the times, and then another time I was working with this producer that like he always wanted me to be his engineer. I'm only an intern though, but
Yeah.
he it was his birthday, and they also tell you like, yo, don't smoke or drink in front of this dude, like, you know what I mean? In
Puff?
front of Puff, yeah. You're
Okay.
an intern. Don't
Yep,
be
yeah.
smoking or drinking in front of him. So the dude's like, yo, we doing shots for my birthday. Da da da. da. We doing.
Who said that?
The producer.
Oh shit!
So like he pours
It's
everyone
like a
a
freaking
shot.
trap. It's like just a bunch of traps, dude.
He's like pouring me. He's like he tries to
Bruh.
hand me the shot. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. He's
Yeah.
like, do the shot, man. What the fuck? I'm like, nah, man, I'm not doing the shot. And then Puff comes up and he grabs him in a headlock and he's like, yo, John. He heard him saying my name, John.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, John, don't be letting this motherfucker talk to you like that, man. He's like, but you could take the shot though. You're good. And then, so Puff, so we all
That
took the
must have
shot.
been
Yeah,
awesome,
that's
bro.
funny.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, because I was like, nah, I'm not taking no shot.
You're
no
just
shot.
like, I ain't risking
And
nothing.
Puff
Yeah.
seen like my
I'm-
demeanor. He was like,
I'm starting
Yeah.
to think that he's a lot like the same character he played in Get Him to the Greek.
right, yeah. He's a cool dude. You know what I mean? Of course.
Did you see that movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
You've
with
seen
the-
it,
with the,
obviously with Russell
what's
Brand.
what's the joint that they smoke called the
Oh,
Jeffrey or
the Jeffrey, a Jeffrey.
Yeah.
When you're smoking a Jeffrey, he's like, "I'm gonna mind fuck you," and he's like
Right.
running after
Yeah.
the car, and that movie's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
You'd like that movie. Jonah Hill, P Diddy.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, I've heard
What's
of
that
it.
dude's? What's the
Russell Brand
Yeah,
is-
Russell
is the
Brand.
English guy,
Yeah. He's cool, man. I mean, of course, the media depicts him away, or his shows, he has to
Yeah.
look a certain way.
Well, I loved the skit that Dave Chappelle made of him.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? He goes.
I'm gonna-
They're like
No,
they
that
had
was the
that
R.
reality
Kelly.
That's R.
TV show.
Kelly.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
No,
I was thinking
yeah.
R.
Oh,
Kelly.
bro.
No, I
No,
know what
I'm
you're
thinking,
talking about.
breast milk.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want you
Some
to go,
Cambodian
yeah,
breast milk.
I want you to go into town and get some Cambodian breast milk with these balloons. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's just funny. I was actually there for one of the shows, like, and they told us, they're like, all right, we need to make it a mess. So they make us, we ripped up a bunch of pieces of paper. It was
Yeah.
called like, I Want to Work for Diddy or something.
Okay.
We ripped up a bunch of pieces of paper and threw them on the ground, and we told them that we don't have any brooms and that they can't use the vacuums while studio sessions are going on. So
Oh,
they had to
shit.
pick up. It's a bunch of them like, oh my God, we got to pick up all these
All
little
the little things.
Yeah, then we went to the closet where all the wires are, and we just threw all the wires everywhere, and we were like, you got to organize these wires. But they didn't even, or we ended up having to reorganize them and shit.
Oh, no kidding. So you guys were putting on the show for these kids.
Well, no, like they kind of told us, like the producers of the show were
Yeah.
like, yo, what is some things that like you guys have to do and shit, but we want to dramatize, like
Yeah.
like make it.
Oh wait, what? So wait, just to clarify. So what end of this were you on? Were you
I was an
setting
intern.
it up?
No.
for these
I was
peop-
just
okay.
well, actually, originally I was supposed to be like client services or something.
Oh, okay.
So I was supposed to tell them like, okay, whenever they need something or this or that, like, but like we got to get it for them right away, whatever they want, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like the whole premise of the show kind of switched when they edited it and shit. It was like, I was like I said, I was working with that producer who wanted me to take a shot. I was working with him like every day, and like I was like, I was mic'd up that day.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yo, John, roll up." And I'm like talking to him about rolling up and shit. And then
Yeah.
I realize I'm mic'd up halfway through
Oh,
this
no.
shit. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I like turn the shit off. And then like it was just a
What?
lot
Where
of
was
shit.
the mic
Oh
going?
man.
What?
Where was
I
it
was
feeding
supposed to
into?
be. I was supposed to be like a character on the show.
Oh,
like if you,
shit.
I can actually show you. If you watch the episode of the show, you'll see me just standing there. It's like, why am I just? It's me and two other interns standing there. We
No
all had.
kidding. Is it
we
on
all had
YouTube?
fake jobs. Yeah, it's on VH1. It's called I Want to Work for Puff. It's like.
Do you know
one
what
of the-
episode it was, or?
I'm not exactly sure what number, but it's
Fuck,
like
I'd love
it's
to see
in the
that.
studio. I have short hair and shit. I'm just sitting
Yeah.
there. And fucking, I think they just like scrapped the whole idea because it didn't go how they planned. So they like
No.
just,
Oh,
they like,
man.
there was one scene where we like kind of couldn't been edited out. We were just standing there like we were like we had something to do with everything.
Yeah.
And then that's the one scene I'm all in for the whole shit. But it's like,
Oh
whatever.
man, I
It was
kind of
funny.
miss those days, those preliminary days of producing. Like nobody really knew what was really good,
Yeah.
and so everybody was kind of having
Like
their
the
own
reality
takes on
shows and
shows. Yeah,
shit,
the
yeah.
reality shows.
They're like,
and-
all right, you're client services, you're this and you're that. And
Right.
so it was me and 2 other interns, and we're just sitting there looking stupid like yeah, no, it's not believable. We gotta switch. And they probably heard me smoking and shit. And like,
Yeah.
I had a hat like a fitted on, and like I had like a emblem on it, and they kept telling me not to take it off, but I would like put it back on throughout the night and
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Oh, because it was
because like they would have to take it off.
branding. Yeah, because it was a show. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I've been on like really really small things that were as an extra,
Yeah.
and that was a big thing. It
Yeah,
was like,
you
oh,
can't
no
have
branded
any
clothing,
stuff in-
nothing,
yeah.
nothing.
hmm
So where does that bring you now? So
So I was there for like a year and a half, man.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of got the blueprint for what I got going today. Like if you come to my studio, it's kind of almost in a way set up like how
well, that's
Puffs
huge.
was.
That's why people say if you want to do something, if there's something you love out there, try to find a way to work with or under somebody for free who does it.
Yeah. And learn. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's everything. I can't imagine how much of that you can apply to your life or have applied to what
Yeah,
you do
it's
now on your
even
own.
subconsciously, like,
Yeah.
without even, you know what I mean, without even
Because
thinking
you've
about
seen the setup, you've seen
Mhm.
how it plays out, and you've seen how it's facilitated because you were part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, geez,
Yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
that's
it. It
invaluable.
was right around the time he did this album called Last Train to Paris. So it was like
Yeah.
a bunch of weird popish type shit too. And I was going in there on some boom bap shit.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I loved making boom bap beats. I'm like,
Yeah.
Cormega's my favorite rapper. And
What's
shit.
boom bap?
Like old school 90s shit.
Nice.
Like,
Okay.
Like
okay.
Mobb Deep and
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
That's
got
what-
you,
like,
got you.
that's
Okay, okay.
Nas and Cormega and you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Cormega was my favorite rapper. The people would ask me who's your favorite rapper. I would say Cormega. They'd all laugh at me and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck that, man? Cormega's the realest, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
realest, bro. Like, and then you know what I mean. Then I'm in there and I'm just seeing like, bro, like I play guitar. I can play some keys. You know what I mean. I know my music theory. I'm like, bro, I could make any type of beat
Yeah.
if I want to. I can make any beat. You know what I mean. I do.
So
I've made,
satisfying to
every
make
type of beat.
little beats and stuff like that is awesome.
Yeah. So I just kind of was like, you know what do I want to do? I want to do music, but like this shit's dying out. You know what I mean? Boom bap and all that shit. You
Yeah,
can already
yeah.
see it dying out. The Laffy Taffy era took over around that
Yeah.
time. So it's like, I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna, you know what I mean, make everything. Like I don't care. I just want to make music.
That's such a
and
good
write
point.
music and
How important it is to be progressive with it too, and understand that new things.
evolution
Because
is
it's easy.
inevitable.
I could
right?
imagine it's so easy to stick with we'll say boom bap for instance. So you got
Yeah.
that same style, and it's like, I mean, look at reggaeton. It's still reggaeton.
Yeah.
And not
But
that it's not. I love it. But
Everything
it's like,
everything comes back around as you
Yeah.
see with like Benny the Butcher and these
Right.
guys, you know, what I mean, rapping and stuff. But it's like, you know, I'd rather do it all. Like
Mhm.
I'd rather make a beat for fucking Taylor Swift and fucking
Yeah,
Mobb
yeah,
Deep, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like,
absolutely.
but yeah, man. So I came back to Connecticut. Well, actually, when I was still at Puff Shit, me and I got 4 of my friends together. I'm like, look, I want to start a studio back here. Like,
Yeah.
we could do something.
Did
with
you
it.
make any connections out there that you still have today?
Yeah, yeah, I got a bunch, you know what I mean? Actually, rest in peace, my boy Pedro. He was probably like one of my closest friends from
Yeah.
that time. He was actually the client services for, you know what I mean, like the things that you can't go to the store to get, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
I
Like
gotcha,
at the
gotcha.
studio
Yeah, yeah.
type shit. And then he was you know what I mean, that was my dog since then. He was like you consider day ones people who you fuck from the first day you met them, they
Yeah.
always kept it real. So that was like one of my day ones, like in that sense, you know. And he passed away like last year in
Shit, man.
20 October of 19, I think.
Mhm.
We went to right before COVID hit. You know, we went
Yeah.
to California, and he came back a week later. He passed away.
Shit.
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Damn.
But,
How, I'm assuming he was
He
pretty
was
young.
a little older. He was like 41.
Still,
You know what I mean? But
that's young for a heart
he was
attack.
basically like he was the dude that I'm in the studio. I'm making a beat. I think this is the hardest beat of my life.
Yeah.
And he would walk in like, Nah, bro, that's trash. You know what I mean? I was like, what the
Yo.
fuck, bro? Like,
That is so important to have
Yeah.
people who tell you like
Yeah.
when something's not going the
Yeah.
way that you think it is.
But like I'm like, and then there's a couple times where like other motherfuckers were walking with him, they'd be like, nah, yo, that shit's hard. Like, P, what you talking about?
Yeah.
And then like,
Yeah.
and there was only like a couple times when that motherfucker was like, it's like he didn't even want to give me that nod, but it's like, yeah, well, yeah, that shit's hard,
Yeah.
but-
Well, he had the courage to tell you.
Yeah,
You know, and
and
that's rare to find
yeah,
sometimes. You know.
yeah, definitely. No, that's he was a real one.
That's why
for
it's like
sure,
some
bro.
types of feedback, you know, doing anything, I sometimes don't appreciate too much when people are just like, "Oh my God, you're the best,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Yo, I don't want to."
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no.
Like,
Where can I get
I
better?
just
How am I
started,
supposed
yeah,
to
like
get better?
yeah.
But yeah, and even to this day, one of Puff's engineers, he has a studio in Jersey City. So every week I go out to New York, I go check him, and I learn some shit. You know what I mean? I try to sit in with him and
Yeah.
learn some shit. Shout out Rockstar MVP.
Yeah, shout out. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Steve
So you
Dickey.
still got pretty good ties, and you could head out there. And
Yeah, like this guy's Fab's engineer. Like everything you hear
Okay.
Fab do, he's mixing it. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? There's Neek Bucks, but he's he's like probably the most one of the best engineers on the East Coast, honestly.
No shit.
Yeah.
So talk about the stew. How did you get involved with that? Now bringing it back to Connecticut.
Yeah,
you're
so
home
we brought it
again.
back to Connecticut. I had, like I said, it was me and 4 of my friends. A couple of them rapped. A couple of them just believed in the process, you know what I mean? And had some money that they wanted to invest. I had recently actually just got a lawsuit from that car accident when my friend died.
No shit.
My friend Austin died, so they
Mm.
had just got some money. I'm like, bro, don't. That's seeing wasting
So
the
that
money.
resulted in a lawsuit, huh?
And then a lawsuit,
Wow.
yeah. And I see him wasting all that fucking money. I'm like, bro, why don't you just like put a little bit into, you know what I mean? I got all the studio equipment. All we got to do is just rent this place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We can
Mm.
rent's like fucking $500 for a little storefront. If you
Yeah,
really want
seriously.
some commercial
And the
space, it's not
equipment's-
that much.
The equipment's
Yeah.
pretty expensive. So if
Yeah.
you already have that,
I just went, and I already do construction. I told you that's what
Yeah.
done since I was 12 years old for my father. So I'm like, I built all the shit myself. I built the whole booth. I built about 15 booths to this day.
no shit.
Yep, I just built.
Now, do you just help people build, or are you still
I build them
function
from the
within
ground.
those?
Oh,
You-
well, I
you
just
do like the
people
finish
hire
work
me.
and everything
People
too.
hire
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if
The
you ever been, have you ever
soundproofing.
been to my studio?
I've been
for
well.
the
I ran
podcast.
into. I went to shout out to Inappropriality because I went on their podcast, and I remember that. You're the
Yeah.
first person I ran into because you wouldn't expect there to be a whole studio right
Yeah,
there. Like,
yeah.
so I was kind of going, "Oh, is this
Mm.
where it
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be?" And you're like, "Yeah, we're there." So I walked in the room, but I didn't go into. I didn't
The
see your
booths
sound
and
booth
shit.
or anything.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So yeah, I've over the years I've got my own technique where I put the foam on the wall and I can wrap it with like any fabric or whatever. But
Nice.
I'm trying to do some different stuff. Like I've been following a couple like more contemporary studio builders and they're doing some crazy shit.
Yeah, I'll
nowadays.
tell you,
Wow.
man, that's really cool that you got that blue collar background also in the like creative industry too.
Yeah.
You feel like that gives you like good perspective.
Yeah, well, I want to do. I have so many other plans too. I want to
Yeah.
like get into real estate and build shit. You know
That's
what I mean?
smart.
Like, yeah, I got.
I think it's really important to have some handyman skills.
Yeah.
To have
I've built houses from the ground up with
Right.
my father. Like
And
that's what he does.
there's
So-
there's never a time in your life where having a little bit of manual labor experience on your belt won't come in handy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's just
Even to fucking
important.
feel good, like work out. Type,
well,
you know what I mean? Like,
there's
For
there's
sure,
no
man.
there's no manual labor you can do that doesn't give you some skill in
Yeah.
return. Versus, I know plenty of people who, unfortunately, the
can't put a
majority of their
doorknob on or
well,
something.
well, the majority of their work experience was like retail, so they know how to use a cash register or something like
Yeah,
that, and
but
it doesn't really translate
to
because
real life, yeah.
yeah,
If you would ever need that, what are you ever
Yeah.
gonna like? Unless the fucking cash register guy has a heart attack and you got to ring
yeah,
yourself out or something.
if you're if you're the kind of person, maybe you've developed really good
Just go
people
behind the
skills, but
counter.
it's
That's
yeah,
like your
it's,
first concern. You're like,
I
all right,
got
hold
you.
up,
Yeah.
I'll take care of you in a second. I just gotta check out my groceries.
yeah.
Right.
So
So yeah, I moved back to Connecticut. We had the studio. Within 3 months, it was down to just 2 people, me and my boy.
no
E.
shit.
Yeah. So and we stuck with it, and we stuck with it, and now it's paying off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, do you know Dean Martin them too? I think they've been through the stew. He's the one who turned me on to the stew. Shout out, by the way.
Yeah. What I'm bad as hell. What does he do? He's a
He's a
artist.
lumberjack.
Oh, that's his. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
Lemon
his
Jack,
brother
yeah.
Delwyn.
Delwyn, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So you know them too?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I actually Delwyn actually just helped me build a booth for this other guy named Tyler Gifted.
No
in
shit. Shout
Springfield.
out to Delbeck 9.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I was like, I posted on Facebook like, does anybody want to make some money to carry some sheetrock?
Yeah.
And this motherfucker carried like 20 sheets of sheetrock
Damn.
up an elevator for me, like
No
while I
Bro,
was
that
working.
shit's heavy.
Yeah.
That shit's heavy.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So I paid him good. You know, what I mean, I gave him
Yeah.
some bread, but
But
and then
it-
I told him I'll pay you less if you want to just come and watch how I do this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you know what I mean?
Well, that's the real gold. You know what I mean? Is
Mhm.
getting the experience of seeing how these things are set up.
Yeah,
and
because I didn't want him
facilitated.
to just carry up all the sheetrock. I paid him good for that, but then I'm like, I can't pay you that same amount for. I wanted to pay you good for carrying that sheetrock up, but if you want to stay around and help me with shit, I'll like, you know what I mean? I'll still pay you. I just can't pay you that much. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So
Do you get paid to complete
do
the projects?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not.
So
doing
people
it. At this point,
like
I'm not-
hire you to
yeah.
set up their booth.
Yeah, like frame it out.
Oh, that's awesome.
I even do the sheetrock and taping and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it for free. I've had situations where I've had like got paid a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'll make sure it's worth it now, you know what I mean? I'm not doing
So
it.
that's pretty much what your involvement had been in all these other studios that you're talking about.
Yeah, well, not even for myself. I've built about. So I have 3 booths in Connecticut right now.
Yeah.
Before that, I built my other one that was in my other spot in Connecticut.
Yep.
I used to have a studio in Chicopee, down on Front Street, where I had 2 booths in there as well.
Holy shit.
So just for myself, that's 5, 6, and then I just built one in New York, 7.
Okay.
So I built like 7 for myself. So
It's a smart industry to get into too, man. So do you own
Yeah.
the booths that? How many
well,
booths do you have now?
So
I mean,
right now
total.
I have 3 in Connecticut,
Okay.
in the spot in Connecticut. Yeah, and so they're getting rented out even without engineers, like $20 an hour, or no, $25, $35, and $45 an hour.
There you go.
know?
Is there anywhere people can go to book them?
Bookthestew.com. Yeah,
Yeah.
bookthestew.com.
Nice. That's down below, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, and
Because there's so many people, even just in the event of doing this podcast, I've met so many artists. And
Yeah.
what a demand something like what you have to offer probably is.
Yeah, I got engineers if you need engineers. Even if you just want a cheap spot just to come and record yourself. I even
Yeah.
do monthly deals, monthly memberships.
Oh, that's awesome.
People get like 4 hours a week on a set day, and it's for a cheap rate. You know what I mean? Basically paying like $12 to $15 an hour. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have to charge like $250 for the month, and they get 4 hours a week.
So talk about the shows. So I just
The
went to a
shows, yeah.
show, Tales.
Yeah.
Gosh, what?
So
shout out the other guys.
That show
too.
was like I said. Like I said at the party that night. Those are all artists of mine that I've been like kind of cultivating and growing with over
Right.
the years. And like we always do shows. That was almost a little like a little show compared to some of the others.
Yeah, I was
so,
gonna say
Yeah.
the space at least was very.
Yeah, but it was cool.
tight.
It was a good vibe.
It
So
was.
it's like,
I was like, dude, I'm at a show again. You know, So
Yeah.
it felt good to be at a concert,
Yeah.
man. Because I you know, you
Definitely.
kind of need that.
Shout out Stevie Max, Doran
Stevie Max.
Pierre, and Two Tails.
Yeah.
That New York player, whatever the hell his stupid Instagram is.
Yeah.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, bro, what the hell?
That
are
New
you
York
doing?
player. Yeah. Why not just Tails or something?
Yeah, what the hell?
That's funny. Yeah, I was hanging out, and who was the DJ too?
Oh, DJ Kid Hype. Shout
Yeah.
out DJ Kid Hype. The
Yeah.
Hype. I wouldn't want any other DJ in the world but him.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that was a
that's my
good show.
boy.
That was a
Yeah.
good show, and it was so funny. Okay, so we were just talking about it when you walked in. Like, you got busted at the end, and you know,
Yeah.
in all the times that I've ever been to a party
Yeah, the good
and something
ones.
got
and, like,
busted, it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah,
The cops are lining people up. People are on their phone crying. You know, like they're being
Party
detained or
X
like
type
yeah.
shit. Yeah,
And out of everything that could have possibly been wrong, there was a noise complaint.
I know.
And I'm thinking, because I was like maybe the 3rd or 4th person who got the tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there
Yeah,
vibing,
and
and
then you say,
woo,
oh, shit.
and then somebody taps my shoulder, and I took a double take
Yeah.
because I thought it was just somebody passing by. I'm like, oh, sorry, oh, It's like
Like,
3 dudes with bulletproof
Turns
vests.
out.
yeah, like what the fuck?
And I'm like,
Stevie's up on stage, like doesn't even realize until they're
Dude,
on stage.
I'm
bro.
so happy
That's
they got that on
hilarious.
camera.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
so-
dude, he was still performing. He's like, "Let's go, guys, let's go."
like,
Oh,
"Yo, what's going on?"
shit.
Yo,
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
And
He was lit. Man.
yeah, dude, everybody was that
Yeah.
night, and it was so funny too, because like I had a couple drinks already, and then I'm like, you know what? I wish I'd brought something. Some guy gives me a beer, so I'm like, maybe a third or a quarter of the way through it. I'm like, okay, now I'm vibing. Get the tap on the shoulder. Walking out of there, there's like 6 cops.
Yeah, they're waiting to
outside,
get people.
and they're doing this with a flashlight. It was like literally that. That's
what the
all
hell
they
is
want.
that?
They're just like pointing at the door.
Oh, like telling you
Yeah,
to leave.
with a
Oh,
flashlight.
okay.
With a flashlight. I'm like, okay. And I had a beer in my hand, so I took another sip and just put it in the trash. That wasn't even really a trash or whatever. And so it was the most anticlimactic bust ever.
Well,
Yeah.
bro,
I even walked back in and asked Tails if he wanted some help.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't.
Sort of related, but not totally. Like, do you remember like all the parties we used to have? Like
That's what
coming
I'm
out of high
saying.
school, right? And then like the one that gets busted is my 21st birthday.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Or
We
how
were-
about
we
when you're
never
a kid and
busted until my
everyone's
21st.
drinking, they all kick you out the party, but then they just sent a bunch of fucking drunk teenagers fucking
Yeah.
driving around. Like,
Yeah.
right.
I remember one time I left the party, right? There was this kid came from Mexico and started coming to school. His name was Sergio, bro. I swear he's like a fucking low key plug on the low or something.
Yeah.
Like a fucking. But
What do you mean by plug?
Like fucking some
Oh,
Pablo
he'll
Escobar
Oh,
shit.
gotcha.
you know, like,
yeah.
This
He's
motherfucker
like,
was like,
the cartel.
yeah, like this dude's like he looks like he's fucking 21 already, but he's a senior. Like, and
Yeah.
he's like can't barely speak no English. He's got a fucking Cadillac. And
Yeah.
fucking we go to a party. We're like, yo, Sergio. He's in our a couple of me and my boys' classes. We're like, yo, you gonna come to a party with us tonight? He's like, hell yeah, like, let's go. So we drinking and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking cops come to the party and tell us to leave. We get into the car. This dude fucking just puts it in reverse and backs up. Boom, hits a car.
Oh no.
And he's like, and the cops are like, "Oh my god,
He
what
hit a
the
cop?
fuck?" No, I
Oh.
don't. No, it was like somebody else's, like somebody else
oh.
at the party or something.
dude, that's rough.
So the cop comes up. He's like, "You got a license, man?" He's like, "No."
No.
He's
Dude,
like, the cop's like, "You don't got your license on you?" He's like, "No." And he's like, I'm like, but I'm like,
Was
I'm
he
like,
a
Sergio.
citizen?
I don't think he was yet. I'm like, Sergio.
Fuck.
I'm like, Sergio, do you have a license? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, I mean, you don't have it with you, but you have one, right? He's like, no. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? The cop just is
Bro,
like, get
that's
out of here.
rough.
Just leave. And just let us
Oh,
leave,
damn.
bro. We're all wasted like in high school.
Bro, a little
Fucking-
pro tip. I will say this, and it's really big within our generation. You know, you get in an altercation with the cops, and somebody turns the camera on right away.
Yeah.
I was actually listening. Shout out to the podcast. You can't handle the ploof, because that's where I watched it. He had some retired cop on there, and the whole thing with recording the cops, it's kind of dangerous if you're doing it, because now the cop has to do everything to the T.
Yeah.
Instead of letting some shit brush under the rug and be like, yo, just get the fuck out of here, man. They
Yeah.
can't do that as soon as they're on camera, because they
Yeah.
could lose their job.
True, yeah.
So sometimes it's just like, let's just see where this
Yeah,
goes.
exactly. If I need to put this camera on,
Yeah,
let me do
yeah.
it.
If this,
It's like, yeah,
let,
you gotta-
let the
some-
fists fly before you
Yeah.
turn the camera on. You know what I
I've
mean?
had my altercations with plenty
Oh,
of
yeah.
cops, and yeah, I know sometimes I've dealt with them every type of way. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying, because I've been to Dan Roy. Shout
I
out.
got my
don't know.
ass
He
whooped
got
by the
jumped-
cops. You know,
I shouldn't say. Anyways, big party. And I've seen people get their asses handed to them, and us lined up. We were all hiding in the basement like it was fucking Auschwitz or some shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
Like,
I remember hearing
Germany.
about that one.
dude, that was a fucking
Yeah.
party. And I was like, I went there without anything to drink. I was just like, okay, I know there's a party going on. I'm going to show up. Somebody yells cops, an hour into me being there, and all of a sudden the door just flies open. And we're like scrambling. Some people are running out the back door. Some people are running into the basement.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm
definitely
running
is.
through the woods just totally
Yeah.
sober because I had just gotten there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Shout
I
out.
haven't had anything yet. I'm
Oh.
just like, oh, Jesus.
I
Let me
think
get out.
Deo was there too. Shout out to Deo, our other co-host, and he just had like fresh clothes on, like you were talking about before,
Yeah.
and he ran about 2 miles bushwhacked through the mud.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
I've had-
covered
I
in
got
mud
sto-
all
I
the way
got
up to his
stories like
knees and
that.
shit.
Yeah, that shit's funny.
And it was the
Definitely
kind of
is.
party where like people were so pissed that the cops would come in and throw fucking shit at them, and then get
Yeah.
tased and tackled. And,
Yeah.
And it just became this whole debacle. So now we're all lined up, and it's like that's immediately every single time the cops had come. Besides that time at the fire, and
Yeah.
even then they like made us stop and like go inside. I'm like, bro, we're out in the woods.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just that was probably the greatest time I've ever been at a party that the cops been busted.
Oh, what at that part? At
Yeah,
our shit?
your thing because
Yeah.
like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah,
it's
they
this
tell you to
whole
leave.
fucking thing, and even
Because
on
they
the
probably
way,
really couldn't have done much anyway.
yeah.
You know what I mean? There probably wasn't much in violation.
Oh,
we were
that's what I
doing.
was thinking too. I'm like, oh shit, COVID. This is a COVID break.
Yeah.
This is a super
Yo,
spreader.
I definitely think that there's a lot of cops out there though who like are looking at these COVID laws and are just like, this shit's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't doubt it at all. I
You
bet
know?
you they're real sick
Like
of it.
I ain't gonna enforce this. You're fucking socializing, and I'm gonna slap you with like a fine for
Yeah.
socializing.
Well, imagine how many. I mean, you see it on social media a lot. People calling the cops because someone's not wearing a mask. Imagine
Yeah.
how annoying that phone call is.
Right.
Yeah, we got a no mask.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, put the fucking mask
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Fuck it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna go to jail or something. I've seen so many. They go to jail now. They're like
Yeah.
fucking.
Oh, really?
I've seen a few. Yeah. Where, like,
Just
they
for not wearing a mask?
I follow like this page like
No
Don't
way.
Be Like Karen or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's there. You just see a bunch of stupid motherfuckers like.
Yeah. And it gets out of hand at that
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah, I barely wear. You know what I mean? I'm not really in a place where I have to wear a mask
Yeah.
all the time. So. It's
well, that's what I was wondering because I know Connecticut's changed.
Yeah.
the-
Well. I mean, just me. Period. Like I don't have a regular job or. Like,
Oh yeah.
go out. You know what I mean? If I'm going out in public, I can't stand the mask. If I had to
Yeah.
wear a mask for 8 hours, I would probably
Dude, it's rough. I
cut
do
my ears
actually.
off. Like,
I,
that shit is-
at
what the fuck?
work for me, it's
I
all
ain't got
day.
nothing to hang it
Yeah,
from.
like I can't wear it.
Yeah.
And it's a little easier in the winter, but I already know in the summer it's just like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's almost like a face.
wearing a
like,
sock on your
yeah.
face and it's like hot.
Bro, I'll tell you what, like I've tried like rock climbing wearing it, and it's
Mhm.
just I'd sweat and I just sweat through it, and it's like if I'm gonna wear this mask, I need like 3 different masks to change, and I don't even go to the rock climbing gym anymore because of that shit. Because why do I want to sit there and waterboard myself
Yeah.
when I can just
Oh yeah,
exercise outside?
exactly.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna exercise outside. Fuck this membership. I ain't giving you money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know.
Yeah, people are losing mad money off that shit.
That's true. That's true. It's definitely tough times to run a small business or probably
Yeah.
any business. But like so how many shows have you been involved with that?
Well, I mean, us personally, like even so, when we had the Chicopee spot, we were actually throwing a lot of artist showcase and stuff like that. Like we did a couple, like we did one that was like Stevie verse Two Tails, where
Oh, the battle rap.
yeah, well, it's kind of like they just went back and forth playing songs, and we kind of
Okay.
like amped it up on social media that it was like some type of battle, but it was really just a show.
It was just a show.
yeah,
Okay.
like no one was like, you know, what I mean, we had
no.
then we
East
had them
Coast
going
versus
at
West
each other,
Coast
like-
shit.
Yeah.
yeah, but it was less, you know.
So what's the role that you play? Do you just get all the components together
For
like
the shows?
DJ? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm probably I'm incorporated with it just because it's me. You know what I mean? All these pieces are just pieces I've
People
put
you
together.
know
You know what I
and-
mean? Like this last show, like I said, actually Tails had put that together.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just they're Dilli Gang and they're the Stu 860. You know what I
I
mean? It's
gotcha.
that's what it is.
Mm.
Like we even Stevie himself, he'd be doing a lot of bigger shows. Like
Really?
yeah, like he's opened up for Little Uzi, Little
No
Pump,
shit.
A Boogie, Little TJ,
Yeah.
countless Young MA, like a whole bunch of people.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a real good relationship with
Well,
DJ
we
Big
had
Mike.
Nick Acevedo on here too. He opened for Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay, yeah.
Way back.
Yeah, I
That's
remember when he
really
was coming
cool.
up. Yeah, but Stevie's like, this COVID shit was really fucking him up because he was always doing shows. He was like
Yeah.
doing a lot of shows. And like even Doran got to perform at the Big E like 2 years ago. I think the last time it was open. He
Right.
got to perform at the Big E,
Yeah,
and they
that's
actually
cool.
That must
let
have been
my
awesome.
son perform a song. My son's about
You
to
have
be
a
10.
kid?
I got 3 kids. Bro.
Holy shit, bro!
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, like if I was gonna tell you my whole story, then
Yeah.
we would be here for a couple hours. Like, I left out a lot, you know. But it's
Damn,
like,
bro. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got the commercial space for that studio and that whole timeline of the studio, shit. We got the studio October of 2011.
Okay.
So I was at Puffs in like 2009, 10.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then before that, I was at school in like 08.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To think too, you had to keep up with the Jetsons in that sense of the technology has changed so much from then to now.
Yeah. Well, some of this stuff. I mean, that's what I pointed out to someone the other day. As far as audio goes,
Yeah.
it really hasn't.
I will
Quality
say,
of audio.
I've noticed too, like
even the old stuff is better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like with video, it's
microphones. The technology with microphones hasn't changed really that much.
Like
that
the best mics are still like the U87, which was made in fucking who knows when.
And they still
use
like Joe Rogan. I don't know how long he's been using it for podcasts. The SM7Bs from sure.
That was the wait. No,
this is
it kind of looks like
this is an Audio Technica. Yeah,
yeah,
they have the long one that points
yeah,
at you.
with it has the foam on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like $400 mics. Yeah.
Same thing for a long time.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of
the price kind of just stays the same. It's not gonna ever.
Well, I mean, the audio quality for talking is, you don't need something too crazy.
Yeah.
More so like
compressors is what you need probably. Just better.
But even so, like I just spent $3,000 on an outboard piece of. It's a compressor, EQ preamp. You know what I mean? It's like a preamp that would go before your interface.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and I know that thing is like all components from. It's just like all old components like that you would find in like old shit. I know this mastering engineer. He uses this piece of equipment. It's just to run the signal through old transistors through what's the old power company or phone company? It's like Western.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Well, but it was like they had their own types of transistors.
Are you thinking like Morse code, like the or no? Not
I don't
that
know.
old.
It's just I don't know. It's like literally just to run. It runs the because the audio signal is like an electrical signal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just runs it through like this old piece of gear that gives it an old sound. You know what I mean? It's just it kind of like basically my whole point is that like the audio shit is like. Yeah, it hasn't progressed a lot on the analog side of things. Like as far as cameras, like they're doing mirrorless cameras and shit now. You know,
the hertz
4K.
Probably a little higher, I would assume. Like that's about it.
Because digital is really shit. Like digital isn't shit. It has like when we talk too loud, it gets like that staticky shit.
The clipping and
if on like analog shit, it won't sound like that. It sounds more warm. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard. I mean, think about records. Records still have the highest form, and it's literally just a needle. Pegging
that
dots.
Shit is crazy.
Like it's like when you look at it from on a like a microscope, you ever see it? That needle is just running across.
Yeah, it's like the
dots.
waveform. It's like when you're looking at this and here, it's the waveform. It's like they actually etched that waveform into the record.
Yeah.
So when
Talk
that
about
needle
analog.
hits it, it's like
that's about as analog as it can get.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
you don't even hear all the frequencies.
That whole thing is like so like nostalgic too. Like it's like picturesque.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
I've never had a fucking record player, bro. I always wish I did too.
They made like a weird comeback in the last 2 years or last 3 years.
USB ones and stuff.
Yeah,
they have you can plug it right into your computer.
I know Ian's got a
he bought one. He's buying
all sorts of records. Yeah.
Got a place like Newberry Comics. They have like a whole collection of different records you can buy now.
Yeah.
They're more popular than CDs. I think they're more popular than CDs.
Yeah, well,
who wants a
CDs are
CD?
fucking fuck a CD.
Where do you put a CD? You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna just have
unless
a CD
you got a
player.
car from like the early 2000s.
I do have a CD player in my car.
Yeah,
that's the only place I have one now.
I do actually. I do too. I got a changer in my trunk.
Yeah.
My car, but yeah.
So what's the long-term plan for you now?
So,
I mean, you got the stew.
I skipped a lot, bro. I said,
keep going. Then where did we leave off?
I'll make it quick. You know, I'm not too long, but I mean, I've like I said, after Puff shit, we came back to the studio. I've been working with artists, having my own artists, having clientele. You know what I mean, building my clientele to what it is today. You know what I mean, making beats. I produced a beat for this artist named Chinks. I don't know if you remember him. He passed away in 2015.
I've listened to so much music.
It was one of his biggest songs. It was on the radio a lot. It was featuring. He was French Montana's artist, Coke Boys.
Okay.
You know? But it was a song that went like, "Give a fuck about your feelings." It's called Feelings. But,
okay.
I did that beat for him. That was probably the biggest beat I've done to this day. But I still get BMI checks from it. You know what I mean? It's still coming in. Yeah.
What's it? Wait. So talk about a BMI check. What does that mean?
So publishing.
Oh, so like royalties?
Well, publishing royalties.
Okay.
And, you know what I mean? I still get So that's that you get royalties off like sound exchange
Mhm.
for it playing on like YouTube and stuff. But
Oh, okay.
that's like more periodically than the BMI is pretty consistent. But
Right.
it's nothing much, nothing crazy. But
Mhm.
it feels good when you get a little check. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? But
absolutely. For your work, just passive
yeah,
income. I mean,
but
that's the goal.
yeah, exactly. So more of that, you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. I got some more stuff coming out with some bigger artists, but just working with the artists that I work with, you know what I mean, around here too. I've been working with this guy Donzio P a lot lately. He just dropped a new song, I'm the Man. Check out the video for
Okay.
that. It's he was just on the radio last night on Hot 93.7.
Really? Holy
Interview for that. I think they're gonna put the interview up on YouTube.
I wish radio had a better way of monetizing their work because I do like radio.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get into because who's got 3 or 4 or 5, 10 minutes to listen to ads? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or yeah, even so I feel like the some of the radio people make it harder for the younger generation to get into
Yeah.
with, like, you know what I mean? Like there's a spot where they gotta pass the fucking torch, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's become, they tried with Sirius. Sirius is, the only thing good about Sirius is pretty much what the hell's his name?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern,
Yeah.
and that's it.
You got to have a name kind of developed
Yeah,
for yourself.
exactly.
Like,
And it seems like
or
industry
Sway in the
right.
morning.
It's moved more into podcasts and streamed music because
Yeah.
like you can do
no
it
commercials,
so
no one
easy,
talking.
no
just
one
don't
talking,
talk.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to hear music. Like,
Exactly.
Dude, commercials are the worst. I
Yeah.
had Spotify and it's like, dude, I am not listening to commercials. I'm paying for this. I don't
yeah,
care.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But
I'm still too cheap to do that. But
yeah.
dude,
I got
I
Apple
really need to
Music.
work.
Commercials are the worst.
They
dude.
really are. They piss me
They're
off.
everywhere. They're
And
on
they're-
YouTube. They're on.
They seem-
anytime you switch
Yeah,
websites,
they
You're starting to
seem,
see them on shit that you were like, wait, I swear, where did I see a commercial the other day? On like Instagram or something, bro.
Oh, dude, it makes me sick. I feel like
I'm watching stories, and then next thing I know, like the sponsored shit. I haven't updated Instagram yet, so it's probably why.
don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you had
Yeah.
what version you're running, but they fucked it up as far as Instagram goes. Because now it only shows you what people had shared since you last checked, and then it will just feed you other content, or you can click see older posts. But now your feed, if you get to a certain point, which could be literally one post away, you're looking at other people's stuff that you don't follow.
Don't even follow.
So it's
because they're trying to.
it's gone fully algorithm. It's gonna
attention economy, son.
yeah. So it's gonna
monetizing your attention. That's
Yeah.
all it's about.
yeah.
That shit's crazy.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of boring in that way, and it's not very personal, and the feed has nothing to do with you or the people you follow, which is really not. I don't think that's cool at all.
Yeah, no, that's whack.
But like some of the commercials you run into, they're so dumb. It's like insulting.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, why are
hi,
you showing
this
me
is
this?"
your house speaking. Your basement. It's like a Geico commercial, and it just fucking kills me.
Yo, I will say that there are some
try to make 'em
commercials
so
out there
stupider
that
and
are
stupider.
fucking hilarious.
Huh?
Like, there's some commercials out there that are fucking hilarious. It's like there's like this commercial for like this grooming company, like for like beard oils and stuff. And it's like
yeah,
it's the
or the
fu- it's like the Squatch commercials, dude.
Like
Those
listening or
that-
watching?
Just the
watching.
commercial itself is
Okay,
just
okay.
hilarious. It's
Yeah,
funny,
some of those are
man.
funny, like the progressive ones, like don't become like your parents.
Oh yeah,
It's,
those
like-
ones are funny.
And they
yeah.
got
The
the
Squatch
guy's
one's
sitting
pretty
down.
funny, too.
Yeah.
I've seen the Squatch ones. I like those guys.
Yeah.
I might get a bar. So
Bro,
Yeah, we need
you
some
got-
sponsorship.
Yeah.
man.
if you're making commercials, you just got to take notes from those guys because those commercials are actually somewhat enjoyable to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hear you, and you're absolutely right. Because sometimes it seems like they make it seems like the person who's making most of these commercials eats saltine crackers only. Like their life is so fucking boring.
Right.
for
Yeah.
real.
How are you making
Or they
the-
just try to make it so stupid
Right,
that
like-
it'd be funny.
like
but
who's
it's
who's
nah.
like, oh, that's a good one. Like, dude, that sucked.
Yeah.
I got out of I left my house. I turned the TV off. I turned off the radio. That was so fucking boring.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that
Right.
happens so often when it comes to commercials. It's like, dude, that was trash.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like
Especially the
they're giving you
Super
something
Bowls,
you
even that
didn't
bad.
ask for. Like, I didn't ask for your commercial.
Right.
I'm not trying to watch your commercial.
Yeah.
Oh
You
man.
know?
Just get to the point. Like some of them, it has nothing to do with the product or something. Like,
Oh man, BJ's or what's that place? that you can eat food at Arby's or something. I don't know what it is. If you listen to Spotify and you're too cheap to pay for it, like me, there's this one. It goes, "What's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner?" Like 9 times before anything
Dude,
starts.
I haven't even heard that, and I'm so glad I pay for Spotify.
Oh, it makes me sick, dude. It makes me sick.
Right.
It's rough, bro.
Bro, dude, it's like $10 a month. Just spare
I know,
yourself.
I
Just
know.
spare yourself.
Right. Yeah, I got Apple Music.
It's
I gotta pay
$10
for
a
it.
month, but it's the 20 things you pay for that are $10 a month. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I don't.
Bro,
Even, I have none.
Spotify comes with Hulu, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a combo deal.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm saying, though. I know somebody who has Hulu, and I just use theirs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how any of these
Yeah.
companies make money. It's only a matter of time before you can't
Yeah.
use Netflix,
Yeah,
somebody
I
else's
feel like they're
Netflix, somebody
trying to
else's.
crack down on that. At least I heard that Netflix is
It's-
trying to crack down on it.
It's amazing they even make any money at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all using the same person's Netflix. I bet.
Right.
I bet we all got the same
Yo, I-
Right.
at this point.
I know you and I are using the same person.
Yeah, we are, and Jeremy. You know, exactly.
Yeah.
Why not?
You know what I mean? That's one membership.
That's right.
All right, we went on a tangent here. What were you?
Right.
What were we talking about? So
What is it?
after
Oh, the
did-
produ- Oh yeah. So I did the beat for that guy Chinks.
yeah,
But rest in peace. Just been working, building my studio up,
Yeah.
bro. And then eventually, like hearing when I had this first original spot, we had a storefront for the studio, and a couple years into it, I told my boy E, I've seen him spending mad clothes on money. I mean, money on clothes. And I'm like, bro, like you're spending all this fucking money on these clothes. I'm like, you should just start your own fucking clothes or
oh,
something.
dude, I could talk for an hour about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at
Yeah.
all. I really
Like
don't.
you're going to fucking Macy's, spend $500. You know, we could have just made like 100 T-shirts and
what?
fucking sold
Yeah,
them or
that's
some
what I'm
shit.
saying.
You
It's
know?
like, what are you getting out of it? You can get the same thing you bought for $700 for 10.
Yeah,
It's a belt.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why? And it's like I can kind of get and I'm very biased when it comes to this because I'll pay as little as I possibly can for clothes. I mean, I like good clothes,
Yeah.
but you don't need to spend a lot. It's called Marshalls.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly. No,
just
yeah.
go there.
So,
So like there's people buying $700 pairs of jeans, $700 belt, $1,000 shoes. And I get that this is what the celebrities and the higher ups in the industry are doing, but
yeah,
that's
but if you don't
because they
got
can
it,
afford
yeah,
it.
if
You
you
know
don't
what I mean?
got it, it doesn't
Yo,
make
I
sense.
definitely spent like $250 on a pair of boots.
Well, that's
Yeah.
boots.
Yeah.
You kind of can't get
I
away
got
with
the
it.
DG belt. I spent like 500 on it, 400 on it, but it's
I
for
thought that was
Dilli
for Dilli Gang,
Nah,
yeah.
it's Dolce Gabbana.
Really?
I
Dude,
had it
that's the
branded
first
like
thing
that.
I saw when you walked out. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah. So I don't know. For the sake of utility, there's a lot of things you can spend a lot of money on, but when it comes to a pair of jeans or something like that, that literally can cost
Yeah,
you
no, I will never
way less.
spending like the most I
Um,
spend on jeans, like even like American Eagle, sometimes they're pretty expensive, like
and
$60.
And it's
I'm
so
like, damn,
it's
bro.
so sad because like you were saying, buying maybe a batch of t-shirts or something like that, the power of investment you have with that kind of money. Say your wardrobe, even what you're wearing, and you're wearing
Yeah.
$5,000, $6,000 to
You could have just
$10,000.
fucking clothed the whole
Yeah.
town with that shit,
Yeah,
and
and-
made money off it.
and
You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
the most-
made $5,000 off it.
Yeah, it's the most mindless glamour. Like why would you spend $100,000 on a chain?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
people do that.
yeah, no.
And so
definitely
people
not.
think that's what I need to be that. And it's like, no, you need to be as good
Yeah,
as
you
that
need
artist.
like at least if you're gonna spend 100,000, you need like $1 million.
Hopefully, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You know
Like,
what I
imagine
mean?
if you had
Like-
200,000 and you bought that, and you're like, yo, that's just
Yeah.
half of
Be
all
like,
your assets into a
yeah.
chain, yo.
The hell? If you can't buy it 10 times, don't buy it.
Bro.
That's
Yeah.
what I was taught.
People are buying gold, man. People are buying gold.
Gold's going up.
Gold's
Yeah.
going up.
Well, that's smart. But when you buy it in a chain, you're paying for the craftsmanship, and
yeah,
that's
it's not. You're not paying for the
sometimes-
raw gold. You know, what I
right.
mean?
Sometimes you can't exchange that for money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Only what
Nah,
it's
bro.
worth.
Nah,
Only what
bro.
you can exchange it for what it's
I
I want
made.
that
Yeah.
ice, dude. I want
Dude,
that
you
ice. I
need
just want to
that
be like
ice.
covered in diamonds. I want to
Yeah.
get just my skin covered
Right?
in diamonds, dude. A bunch of studs, just like
Some little Uzi shit on the
yeah,
forehead.
yeah,
Yo, so-
yeah, dude.
What's your favorite what's your favorite part of just working with music personally?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Honestly, making my own music.
Making
probably.
your own?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or working with the artists
That's
like
kinda-
more in depth. I don't like mostly recording them. I like to have more hands.
Yeah,
on
it is sort of a
Yeah.
button. Have you ever
Yeah.
performed live?
Yeah,
No
definitely.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to, if they didn't come out, I was gonna tell Hype to play a song real quick.
Right.
And
They
I was
were
like,
took forever to come out. I don't know
yeah,
where they were. I know there's
yeah.
Respectfully Said, shout out to that podcast.
Oh yeah, they were doing a
Carla
little, yeah,
Castro was running that,
yeah,
and they were in there. But like, I was like, where are they?
yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck?
Fashionably late.
Right,
They
but
were
yeah,
building suspense.
right.
That's what they were doing.
Right, I had to say my little my little piece. And Doran was mad. I said his age and shit.
Who? What? Really?
Doran, no, I was like, not. Yeah, I think I said it of Doran. I said he was like 27. He's like, yo, you said my age. He was just fucking around. Though.
Yeah. I do want to say, shout out to whoever was filming.
Oh yeah, there was a couple.
They did a fucking great job.
Yeah. We had Tarquin, Samuels, and BP.
In regards to this party we're talking about too, below there will be that music video. I'll find it and make sure it's below in the description, because that was that was a really fun, like, and well shot bit just to capture that moment.
Yeah,
everything was great about it.
Yeah, they did a good job.
And I kind of want to know what they used for their software, because I like the you know, that effect where it centers, it fixes the center but changes the aspect. It was like,
oh, like around it.
Yeah, like Pierre was going like this, and like his face was in, but then there's like, I don't know. It just seems like there was something.
Yeah, there's so much crazy shit with the videos.
Yeah,
now. It's like, you know, After Effects and all that stuff.
And I met one of the guys because I was one of the first people there. I might have actually been the first person there. I was there. Yeah. I got there when Tails got there, so and they were just setting up.
Yeah.
So
you got to see everyone come in. And shit.
I did get to see everybody come in, and I got to meet some of the videographers. I don't remember their names. Do you?
Britton was one of them.
Right,
he was the bigger guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Britton Perez, BP. I think is BP Productions on or something, and then Tarquin Samuels.
Okay.
And then I think Jay Ramirez had his camera with him too. I think he was doing pictures.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
shout out all those guys.
Yeah, shout out. Seriously, that was some amazing work. Mm-hmm. So for yourself in producing your own music, I would assume, do you do it yourself in your own studios, or do you work underneath someone else?
I'm doing it mostly. I'm by myself. You know, I'll just kind of bring the mic out into the room with me and just go like that. But yeah,
do you have a Spotify and everything?
Yeah, I do. The thing is, I'm actually kind of in the middle of rebranding some shit. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I got some old shit out, but I'm trying to invest into this shit. You know what I mean? Like everyone says, you just gotta put it out. You just gotta put it out. But I've done that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I have a couple opportunities coming along right now. I have some shit that's like might catch some momentum, and I feel like it might be smarter just to. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't want to sit on it for too long, but you know what I mean. Right. I'm trying to just make the right moves and not, you know what I mean, not regret dropping.
It's tough.
Shit.
It's really tough being an artist because sometimes, without the ability to be putting on the shows, especially from a digital standpoint, you really have to fight a lot of new elements in this day and age when it comes to getting your stuff out there, because there's a level of traction it doesn't get sometimes because. And I hate to just blame it on the algorithm. I mean, you gotta take some credit.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta, but you gotta put some money behind it. At the end of the day, like or go viral on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's either one or the other. Like
right, and
there's no in between. Like, because you're not gonna get to where you really want to be. You know, like so you gotta have some type of investment or money behind you. You don't have to, like I said.
It helps.
Yeah, it's just gonna help a lot better.
It does help. That's kind of how it's going. It's like if you want to get something out there, you want to just start paying for the ads and whatever. Exactly. But without the ability, this is something I noticed when I went to the concert. Mm-hmm. Because at surface level, when you're looking at these artists, and and I like seeing other people's work and getting to know a little bit about what they do. Like when I had Tails on, I checked out his content, went to his YouTube and stuff. Excuse me. And at surface level, you don't see sometimes as much buzz as there is. Mm-hmm. You see them perform, and it's like, look what they're doing to this crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a whole different
and taking that away, considering the climate of things now, is just it's so crippling. It's insane, dude.
But on the other hand, it opened the door for other shit to happen. Even what I just said, like I might be stupid for that, because now people are just sitting at home or sitting on their ass. They can't go anywhere. They're on the computer more. They're probably like on the computer and phone 50% more at a time now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a win. It's like take some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Well, I know what you're saying is that, with all downfalls there comes, strength. People
yeah,
develop new skills, and that's more statement pointed towards artists.
yeah,
Now you're going to be probably doing more studio work or refining what you do or getting better at reaching out on a digital level or creating
yeah,
more
exactly. You
of
got
a
to now.
fan base on a digital level. Which
Yeah.
that is a tough challenge. That is
Mhm.
a tough challenge. But there's something so organic about live music
Yeah.
that you don't even need to be a huge fan. You can just
If you feel that
fall.
energy,
Yeah, you can fall in love with the
yeah,
energy. You can
yeah.
fall in love with that moment. Because
That's the best way to get new fans sometimes,
Yeah. Like, man, I went to that guy's
It's
show. And I remember
it's
that
the
guy.
only organic way, really, to this
Yeah.
time, like day and age.
You're
I've
absolutely right.
definitely like seen a couple concerts where the opening act was just like, damn.
Yeah, like
that
damn,
was-
they're
that
better
was
than the
good.
fucking
Yeah,
Dude,
other
yeah.
guys.
I've been there so many times. I've
Mhm.
seen so many shows at like Pearl Street and the Iron Horse and,
Yeah.
and all those places. And really, I mean, it's fucking insane what some of these people are doing
Yeah.
and the credit that they deserve. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's
Mm.
where it really comes to show. And it is too
That's
bad.
it, and then they don't make it because you're lacking in other areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there's,
yeah, and I'm sure there's a level of like management that sometimes needs to be
Yeah,
present with a
yes,
lot of these artists
exactly.
because when you're in,
You're trying to be creative. You're not trying to think business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
So
That's
you
how
have
I
to
get
have
back to all the
all
different
the
hats.
components,
You know what I
right?
mean?
So what do you do? Do you have a manager, or do you ever function as a manager?
So
or-
I mean, in a sense, I do. I've been through a lot with this shit. So I've had plenty of contracts in front of me. I've had to hire lawyers. I've had
No
to do all
shit.
that. Yeah, for like these beats and stuff
Okay.
I've done. So I mean, I've been involved with that. So I know how that shit goes. So like, whenever like Tails or Stevie or even other my clients have like opportunities or shit that arises where they need some type of like managerial
Mhm.
help, you know what I mean? I'm always there, but I don't necessarily have anybody on paper where I'm managing them.
Yeah.
I had a manager actually for myself for a while, but it didn't really work out. Like a manager has to think about you more than you think about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like it can't work any other way because like this is the whole the money cow. You know what I mean? We got to
Yeah.
make this bread. Like so, we need to exploit every avenue that we can at every time. You know what I mean? There's no like downtime. So it's like I just noticed that it wasn't working out. You know what I mean? And it was like he had some good opportunity. Like he worked at this company, like a distribution company. So it seemed like it was gonna be good, but it just
Right.
it didn't work out. So that's kind of another reason I took that little L and like I have like videos ready to go and shit like ready to drop. You know what I
Really?
mean, for myself, yeah.
Oh, like music videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Who do you use with your music stuff? Or your
Have you ever heard of
videos?
White Ape?
No.
White Ape Films.
It does sound
He's
familiar just from the people
he's
passing
he's probably the best videographer in the
around here.
Northeast. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's dope. He just did the video for that Don ZOP guy I was telling you
Oh,
about.
okay. Yeah.
He's a dope artist from Middletown, Connecticut. I mean, he's definitely this guy was signed to like a major label, signed to Republic,
Mm.
and then like he's got a little opportunity going right now with with this lawyer Bob Celestine.
Yeah.
That's helping shit out right now. Shit's looking pretty good up on that end of things. They just got this Nelly song cleared. We sampled the Nelly song. What's this song like? I'm the man now. Da-na-na-na. Got a pocket full of money. We just sampled that. The lawyer got that shit cleared.
Really?
And we're pushing that song right now. So you can only imagine if they paid to get it cleared, you know what I mean? We pushing that shit
Wow.
hard. So
Yeah, that must be tough if you're using other people's stuff.
yeah, it's sometimes you gotta pay. It's I don't really do it. I didn't actually produce that beat,
Yeah.
so I don't sample too much because I actually play the guitar and I play all my own shit. So
Well, I remember there was a time just regarding copyright and all that. Like, remember on TV they would be like, stealing music is like stealing someone's TV, type of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was like a pretty big move.
Piracy.
Yeah, the piracy and all that stuff.
Well, now digital music, it's hard to pirate shit too.
Yeah,
like
'cause-
well, I mean that in that sense, as far as like stealing shit, like
well, right, because
sampling shit, you're always gonna get caught. Like eventually,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's obviously blatantly obvious. But say you even just want to, because I make like vlogs and stuff, and I have to use non-copyright, or else
Yeah.
like my video can't be seen in like 20 different countries
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, sucks.
or monetized.
Yeah, you got to get like license-free shit.
Yeah. So now all the platforms where you would share your stuff, it just wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
So that kind of put an end to it really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like still easy to download music off and just listen to it on your own, but geez, it's like the days of having your own playlist. I mean, you might. I don't even have. I just listen to Spotify. I don't even have any real
Yeah.
music on my phone. I
Yeah.
have 0 songs on my phone.
Yeah. Just listen to
Or
Spotify.
before, it would have like
Yeah,
500
Apple
or something.
Music, I got a bunch of shit on there, but it's just because I plug it into my laptop and
Yeah.
I'll have like random shit on my laptop that are like beats I made or something. You know what I mean? So it's like that. But
Yeah.
Mm.
So what were we talking about?
so yeah, we got into the clothes, like I was saying. Me and my partner started a clothing store in the front of the studio, and then eventually we moved the studio to Chicopee, and
Okay.
we moved the studio into the building that it's in now.
Yeah.
So we turned the whole studio into a big clothing store, and we just
Wait, are you?
like this is one of our brands. This is my partner's brand.
I like that. That's
This
pretty
money,
awesome.
Money bag clothing. I got Dilli Gang clothing.
Yeah.
We got Love Is Real clothing and All the Way clothing.
You guys had a little booth there at the concert.
Yeah,
too.
those were all our clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Do you guys? Are you familiar with Midnight Clothing or Midnight Records or anybody? I know that's
No,
another
I'm
one
not
around
sure.
here.
Where are they from?
They were affiliated with John Wash. I don't know if you're familiar. He's another artist around here.
I feel like I have heard of him. John Wash.
And he knows the guys who I think it's Midnight Clothing. I hope I'm shouting that out right. But anyways, keep going. So you guys just started that or
No, we've been doing the clothes. That was probably like that was a long time ago. It was like 2014 or 15.
What made you want to get into that?
I have my logo, you know what I mean? My Dilli Gang logo.
Talk about Dilli Gang. What is that?
So, all right, my original producer name is John Dillinger.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So John Dillinger had Dillinger Gang. I just kind of can't.
Oh, that was your name?
That's
my
my real name isn't John Dillinger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know John Dillinger, the bank robber.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I was like, wait.
No, so when I first started making beats, one of my boys, his rap name was Clyde Barrow.
Oh, okay.
And he told me, he was like, one day he shouted John Dillon out on the track. So I'm like, oh, John. I'm like, what's John Dillon? He's like, John Dillinger. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was John Dillinger from that day on.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
no kidding.
Yeah, so you know what I mean, I kind of just I can't really use that, you know what I mean, necessarily. Like I can't use John Dillinger, I'll get sued. So,
Yeah.
I changed it to Dilly, J Dilly, then now it's just Dilly, you know. That everyone started calling me that. They called me it anyway. It's short. Like you're not gonna be like, yo, Dillinger.
Yeah, I thought it was
Dillinger.
short for Dylan or
Yeah.
Dylon or something.
Yeah, well, it's short for Dillinger.
Yeah.
So like everyone was calling
That
me.
makes sense.
They started calling me Dilly, and I'm like, it's just stuck. So I made Dilli Gang, you know,
Yeah.
Dilli Gang clothing. The logo that I just showed, it was a logo. It means hustle till death, basically. You know what I mean? Like we work until we die. You know what I mean? Like you can't really take the money with you type shit, but we're still. It's kind of like some.
Well, yeah,
irony
you got to work
shit,
for something.
you know?
It's all about having purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like if you don't double down on your dreams, it's what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Exactly.
I've been having thoughts about just all kinds of stuff. I'm going, am I going to live my whole life and die and not do this?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thoughts I have sometimes. Like I'm thinking about a no plan van.
Tomorrow is never.
Tomorrow's never, bro.
Yeah.
and it really is because so many people will put things off, and we've talked about this before. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do it when I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be fucking ready.
Exactly.
No
No,
one's
you
ever
gotta do
ready.
it today. Like
Yeah.
you got enough time, motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
That's right.
you watch TV today? Did you fucking
Yeah,
play a game?
scroll
you
through
played a video
TikTok.
game? What did you
Bro,
do?
I'll tell you what, dude. Call of Duty's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. It's so
bro.
addicting.
I don't
man.
play
I
video
hate
games.
it.
I
Dude, be
don't
glad.
watch sports, bro.
Yeah, good
I
for
like
you, good
I
for
don't
you.
barely even didn't watch TV for a long time, bro.
The thing
I
I'm
didn't even
sh-
have time.
Dude,
Yeah, I
people
don't
give me
watch
shit
TV,
for that.
but I play the games.
Yeah. Now I come home and watch Netflix and shit, but like for a while, bro, I was like
Yeah.
no.
Well, think
when I was
about-
at Puff Shit and shit, I was not watching no TV.
Think about how
going
healthy
home
that
and
is
sleeping.
not to indulge in those types of things. And now I'm shamefully admitting too, I spend a lot of time on like TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram and things like
Bro,
that.
so
Yeah, me
glad
too.
I
It's
never
like it's
downloaded
sickening.
TikTok.
It's sickening
Needlessly.
sometimes when you're just like, yo, why am I
it is
on
sickening.
this shit? What the
But
fuck?
it's
Pick up
not.
my phone again.
I want to really emphasize the sickening part of it.
Yeah.
It is mentally deterring. It causes anxiety. It causes hate, and you start to conform to ideologies that
Yeah.
are perpetuating,
Bro,
and then you start.
You are what you eat.
You-
son.
exactly.
You
You
I was
start-
just listening. I've been listening to this book. I don't know how I got to it. I started listening to like, like some Buddhism books, and then I got to
Oh,
this other
which
one.
ones?
It was like Buddhism is True was
Oh,
one of
okay,
them,
okay.
and then but I came across this one. It's called The Moral Animal. You ever heard of that?
Dude, that sounds
Who's it
good.
by?
It's Robert Wright or some shit. No, I forget who the hell it's by. It's called The Moral Animal, but it's like basically about how like psychological evolution, like it's like evolutionary psychology or
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? About like how we're meant, like us as men and shit. Like it's kind of like some sexist shit. Some people will look at it that way, but it's really about like just how we used to be and why like humans are like. You know what I mean? We're mentally like set up a certain way, but like
Yeah.
today's society isn't how that is. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Like, I
Well-
mean, the way we live our lives, like, it right now is so different from just, like,
yeah,
50
like a
to 100
hunter-gatherer
years ago.
society
Right.
type
Even
shit.
just, like, 100 years ago. Like
We're meant to
shit's
be
totally
around people
different.
we're meant to see people every day, the same people every day. We're not meant to like not know
Right.
our neighbor, not even never talk to our neighbor. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Dude.
that causes a lot of social anxieties and
Dude,
shit.
it's
like,
definitely weird when you don't know all the people who like live next to you. It's like there's a
Yeah.
stranger like
that
right down the
yeah,
road.
lives right there.
Right
Back in the
there.
day, like you see all these people that every day. Like there's no anxiety to speak into a crowds because you're like around. Everyone knows you. Like so
You're like,
now
Yeah.
that one neighbor could see you one day and get a whole like judgment on who you are as a person just off that one experience
bro,
instead
it's
of like,
wild that you're
oh, I had
close-
one crazy day this day and then but the rest of my days are okay. But they just saw me on my
Yeah.
craziest day. You know, like so it's
for
like
sure, dude.
then people get anxiety about that and shit.
People like manufacture identities on the internet too.
yeah, exactly. It's like a fucked up, like, you know what I mean? Time.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, just like
Fakeness.
Yeah,
I'm not that. I can't even
our-
take selfies, bro. I'm
Dude, right. Our ability to judge or our ability to have relationship has changed so much. It's
Yeah.
like with social media and all these things
Yeah,
being at the
like
tips of
fucking
our fingers.
Tinder and shit.
You
know
don't
what I mean? Like, you're
yeah,
like,
you don't know your neighbor, but you know all these people you've never met, kind of thing.
yeah, you're
you know?
like fucking now fucking natural selection is fucking with a swipe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the
Well,
hell?
dude, it really does. It all of a sudden we're faced with this illusion of infinite choice almost. It's like there's no people don't settle when
Yeah.
they should. They'll be like, oh, I can always do, and there's so many things to be said about not settling, but at the same time, there's so many things to be said about appreciating what you have.
well,
Yeah,
I don't even
exactly.
necessarily think that like settling is a thing. I think personally, I think if you're looking for love, you need to build it. You need to create it yourself. I
Yeah.
don't think you can just find it.
Yeah.
You know? I think
yeah,
it
you're
takes
never going to
effort.
find somebody who
Dude,
just
yeah, I
makes it
said that. I
happen.
remember having a conversation. Dude, it's so true. That is a really great point, man, because
You
through
got to love
Hollywood-
yourself at the end of the day,
Yeah,
too.
through Hollywood and all
It's
these
effort,
things, it's
man.
like you become convinced that love is found. Oh, I
I'm
found
just going
love.
to fall in love with this
But
person.
love is created, like you said,
Yeah.
it really is, and it takes effort, it takes time, and it can be right in front of you too, and it can be the source of the majority of the conflict in your life because not like we said before, not many people have the courage to upset you, to tell you that you're full of shit,
Yeah.
and sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that
Definitely.
because some people won't tell you that.
They just let you live your life.
Yeah, and as
Yeah, I've
nice as
dealt with
that is.
One of my shit. I
Yeah.
don't want to. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, don't go there.
But,
Don't go
yeah.
there. But I guess it ties into how it's a good thing that things change. I love progressiveness, but when you convince yourself or you find yourself in this world with screens, you become slowly more confused as to what reality you're living in. Is the reality you're living in the one you see every day on the screen,
Yeah.
or in real life?
There's so many beautiful cliches out there, man. Like the grass is greener effect.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
where
exactly,
you're
yeah.
constantly like, why is my neighbor's grass so green? But you're like sitting there obsessing over your
Or
neighbor's
people,
grass.
or people won't
when you
even
could
think
be
you're
like
working.
watering your own fucking grass.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Water your own grass. Quit worrying about your neighbor's lawn.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what was I gonna say? People will like they won't think you're working if you're not posting it. You know what I mean? They'll be
Yeah.
like, oh,
That
damn,
too.
like,
Yeah.
Nah, I just don't post that shit. I'm in here every single day.
Maybe
you know,
you're
for
putting
hours,
that
hours,
time
hours.
into working.
Yeah, exactly. Less than
and-
showing it. But sometimes it has a bad effect too. Like you kind of gotta in this day and age, you kind of have to show
Attention
them what
economy.
you're doing.
It goes to
I'm
attention.
at that point where like, damn, I need to just start doing stories and fucking.
Yeah.
But I'm not from that era, like Snapchat era, where I could just
everything.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
It's me and Only Podcast.
What's up? Yeah,
Locals
like
Only.
we're here. Yeah, it's like and it's constant.
I
And
feel weird
yeah,
doing shit like
it
that.
takes like such a weird.
it takes you out of the moment.
Like effort. Like it's like a weird effort.
It's
that
like a
you don't
forced
wanna,
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I like at the end of the day, like that shit, that would be better for us. That'd be better for you if I did that. You know what I mean? Shoot you up. But it's just like I gotta
like
just do it. You know what I mean?
The mortal animal in you sort of just wants to sit here and actually be here instead of like having to.
Yeah, even when I'm with my kids and shit, sometimes I
You
don't
know?
take a lot of pictures. Like I need to take more pictures, but I just don't think about it. I'm like just in the moment, you know.
Collectively, it takes you out of the now too.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you lose your focus.
Yeah,
and there's a lot to
exactly.
be said about that because a lot of people, suffer from mild, if not clinical, forms of anxiety.
Yeah.
And that alone, whether you have it in you to admit it or evaluate yourself on a level that says, okay, shit, I got a problem here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got anxiety. Bro. I got fucked up by the cops when I was mad young, and after that I started getting fucking bad anxiety. Like I thought I was having heart attacks.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
Yeah, that shit's
What were you
the
gonna
worst.
say? I cut you off.
Oh, dude, I totally lost my train of thought. Let's keep
sorry,
going.
bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, and it ties into that. People aren't living in the now, and
Yeah, they're
not
hiding that anxiety or trying to mask
well,
it.
yeah.
With shit.
Well, what it does is you're thinking about tomorrow always, or you're thinking about yesterday. I mean, that's pretty much what is creating the political and social climate in every regard. It has nothing to do with right now. It has everything to do with what happened before, and has everything to do with what might happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy, man, is it's so easy to just get obsessed with the destination that you don't appreciate like what you're doing along the way.
Yeah.
You know?
Trust me, I've like, cause even for me to look back and like from where I started to where I've come now, it's like I've had to like bask in that, like, holy shit, like I've done all this, like,
Yeah.
and like I wasn't doing that. Like people would literally have to sit there and be like, yo, I remember when you were there, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not where I want to be yet.
Yeah.
But then you really have to be like, oh shit, I got 3 studios, we got the clothing store. That's still going. We
Those
moved
pick-me-ups are nice though when somebody appreciates your work, and because it's sometimes you could probably attest to this where you forget what you've done or stopped appreciating it so much, and then every now and then somebody's like, "Yo, I really loved what you did there." And I want to shout out to everybody who kind of reaches out to me because there's somewhat of a lull in doing these, because it's not entirely natural. I schedule them. I got to make sure, we got to make sure we can both make it at the time, and then of course the
like
guest can come on, and so
sometimes it doesn't work out and it gets discouraging
it's
type
mildly ungenuine or unauthentic because it has to be sort of created on a artificial way, in an artificial way.
What you mean? Like it's just like,
well,
like I wasn't walking down the street and you're like,
yeah,
hey, you want to talk?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But when I met you, that's kind of the stem of it. I'm like, oh yeah, you look like you got some cool stories. I love this whole thing. This is sweet, man.
Definitely.
And I remember meeting you at the stew, yada yada.
And speaking of that, I might have some. One of my boys was because I have the podcast spot in Enfield.
Yeah.
One of my boy knows from New York knows I have the podcast, and he's like, his manager like has something with I'm gonna get you his info because he's always looking for people who do podcasts.
Okay.
To like I don't know what it is, like join his network or some shit like that.
Sure,
Where it's like something where you can possibly get paid. That's all.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
like some shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'd say it's a good something to look at. I've been I told inappropriality as well. But,
Oh, cool. Yeah. Send me the contact.
Yeah,
info.
I will.
And where was I going with that? So I forgot. Oh, I lost my train.
Well,
of
I
thought.
feel like at least with your podcast, and I feel like although you sort of like manufacture the point in time,
yeah, you
I
get
feel like
tired of it, but
the conversations like sort of blossom like quite naturally. Like I feel like
yeah.
sometimes
I get
even
too
though we're
focused.
sitting down and it's like we're gonna talk, it's like it's not like we're forcing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
Like, where
we're
is
saying.
this?
Well, you're great to talk to already because you have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Some
people
people
don't
be
have
like,
too much to say, so
Yeah.
then you get nervous, and then you
You're like,
feed
wait, am I fucking
questions.
up,
Yeah,
or am
sometimes
I-
I'll just feed questions instead of like right now I have a cool conversation like this. But I want to take it back to shout out to people who reach out and express their appreciation because sometimes I don't even know.
Yeah, you
I
need
just
that,
sort of
yeah.
just post it and ghost it.
Yeah.
I'll make a few things, put them out there so that way there's plenty plenty of reason for people to be intrigued, and then that's all I can really do at that point,
Yeah.
you know. And so when somebody goes, "Yo, I really appreciate, you know, the
What you've been
podcast you
doing,
put
yeah.
out. That was awesome." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, thank you." Know,
there's
That's what's
actually
up.
a few guys at my jujitsu school who listen to the podcast.
This one?
On a regular basis. Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Nuh-uh.
yeah,
Holy
That's what's up.
shit.
yeah,
That's awesome. Shout out to those guys.
yeah.
Shout
man.
out to everybody, by the way. I want to say, I wish I had visited 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu before I did the podcast with Pat,
Yeah,
because I was listening to it. We had the owner of 10th Planet in Springfield come on,
yeah,
Pat Campanola, shout out, and we were talking about all the aspects of becoming a beginner and how he got to where he was in jiu-jitsu. And I wish I had, you know, gone first, because everything we talked about before that was exactly the mistakes I made as a beginner.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt okay. I mean, I got my ass whooped the whole time, naturally, but
I used to
the-
do wrestling, so
yeah, it's a
Mm.
lot. It's a lot like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things you learn about yourself
Yeah.
in that instance.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, yeah, like I'm sure you saw, we got a great setup, good people.
Dude,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah,
Awesome setup.
yeah,
That's what's up.
But yeah, no, going forward with the work and keeping to it. There's a lot to be said about perseverance. Perseverance is almost better than skill sometimes.
Yeah.
That was actually a great movie.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, sticking with it.
who was it? I'm pretty sure his son John Wash said,
Uh,
hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
who
like-
said that.
John?
Yeah, it's like a
I think it was
saying, yeah.
John who said that.
Nick or John.
Or it's either Nick
Nah, I've
or
heard
John.
that
And
before.
skill
though,
don't work
yeah.
when it's lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you're lazy, rather. Skill
Mhm.
doesn't work when you're lazy. But it was the founders, Ray Kroc, who said perseverance beats skill, because he was like a ice cream machine salesman for a while, and he ran into the McDonald's brothers, and
Oh, word.
so then he turned the whole thing into a franchise down the road. Long story short,
Yeah.
no spoiler alert there, because obviously we all know what happened. But
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that movie.
You've seen it with the founder, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good movie. It's a
Yeah.
really good movie. And it kind of, there's a lot to be said about that. And I like what you're saying. You know, you're not so head in the phone type guy. You're working on your work.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said about that too, because it kind of even goes back to the whole clothing choice and
Yeah,
buying
like
expensive
people don't
fucking
know.
clothes.
Like, oh, you own the
Right,
clothing store
people-
too? We own a
people-
convenience store as well. We
Right.
have a convenience store out there in
You do?
Anfield. Yeah, the one that's right in front of
No shit.
the one that's right in front of the studio. Me and my partner
you
own
own
that
that?
too. Yeah.
Holy crap! So
Yeah.
you got your
Well,
hand all over the
entrepreneur,
place.
yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah. I just
So what is your day job? Or do you just mostly
studio.
toil and everything?
Yeah,
then?
we my partner, he's back and forth from the stores. You know, we got friends that help us out. Like, we just started the clothing store, so and the convenience store, we're actually revamping it right now. We're trying to
Wow,
get like
okay.
some food and stuff in there.
Cool,
so,
cool.
we're trying to like we're bringing them some new partners and shit, and just trying to take it to the next level. Because I can't be there all the time.
Yeah.
I'd rather give half of it to somebody that can take it to the next level than it just sitting.
Where do you want to
is.
be? Where do you want to be with your
I
studio?
mean,
Do you want to stay in Connecticut, or are you trying to
wanna-
get back out to New York?
Oh yeah, so I got the spot in New York, but I want to be all over, bro. I want to
Yeah.
I want to franchise this shit.
Franchise studio, that might be pretty cool.
Yeah,
dude.
like
that
you know,
sounds.
the stew. I got booked the stew, so I want to. When you go to my website, I want it to be like, where you at? Where
Yeah.
are you at? Even if I get another affiliated studios that all over the place,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and then it goes to their booking sites. But I just want to
Nice.
have like a bunch of studios that like, so wherever you are in the world, that eventually, you know what I mean, you can go to bookthestu.com and find a studio where you're at. You know what I mean, whether they're mine or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah, that's definitely something that could take off for sure. I could see that working. out.
Yeah, like, oh shit, where I need a studio. Where am I? You know what I mean? Like, boom. But yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta really look into that before somebody else fucking swipes it up from under me.
Yeah,
I got the
seriously.
name, but it's like,
Yeah, that's really one of the most important parts, though, having the name, because if you can obviously make it a .com,
yeah.
everything
that's
kind of
what it
falls
is, yeah.
together right there.
So yeah, that's eventually. You know what I mean? I just want to have a studio. I want to. Within like 3 years, I want to get the hell out of the East Coast. Like, I want to
Yeah.
go to the fucking down to either Miami
Texas,
or
yeah.
Cali or some
Good
shit.
for you.
You know what I mean?
Well, I was
wanna
just
get
about
outta
to
here.
say that. I mean, it's so unfortunate that the whole climate of things became political and opinionated. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
at this point, why not let the stats speak for themselves, the research speak for
Mhm.
itself? Because at this point, people are kind of going off of just beliefs and and maybe ego, right?
Yeah.
To support their. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, there's
I'm sure like your 3-year plan will work out though. I mean,
Oh, what for like as far as what
as far as like being able to
yeah.
migrate and shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the studio in Connecticut is already almost self-sustained, like
Mhm.
self-sufficient. Like I said, I have the monthly plans
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
I have other engineers, so
Well, it's a good idea too to go south because I mean, think about the the industry down there. I mean, you can
yeah,
perform live out there. Who knows how long you can't
yeah,
here?
right,
You know,
yeah,
it could
exactly.
be a thing forever in the north, and it's
Right.
just what we have to deal with,
Right, that'd be
dude.
crazy.
Because I mean, like what I'm
There's no
saying,
way.
there's comes a level. It comes to a level of ignorance, and I'm going to pronounce it like that. It's ignorance. It's like if you want to live like this, that's fine, I guess. But there's people not living like this, and so it's like, well,
Yeah.
what the hell's going
And
on?
it's still all right.
It's
Yeah.
still all right. In fact, it's less. But I can understand. Okay, from the standpoint of things being more outside and the weather being nicer, that does play a
They
huge
said
role.
some shit like in 2019 or 18 there was like 38 million cases of the flu.
Yeah,
And then in 2020 it was like
none.
20,000.
Yeah.
Or some stupid shit like, yo, that shit don't
Well,
make sense.
here's where there's a lot of, I will say there's a lot of things that are kind of silly. The flu is one of them that I can understand because of all the precautions and the spacing and the masks and everybody cleaning the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
The flu's gonna go down because it isn't nearly as contagious.
Yeah.
Bruh, I don't know
or
about you, but
COVID
I
is
was
the flu.
definitely I was injecting Lysol at one point.
Yo,
You
it was the only thing
just
that
in
worked.
case.
Yeah, and yeah, so now you see places like Texas and Florida and Arizona, and they're bumping, they're going, everything's fine, and the cases, it's like, it sucks to say, but I think the majority of the people who were most compromised by something like this have already died.
Yeah.
You're not going to see the
Pretty
same
much.
stats every single year. It's obviously going to be something that everybody gets. I don't care who you are. We've all had it.
Probably, yeah.
Bro, that concert, we had it.
right. If
not
somebody
a mask
did,
in
right?
sight, dude. Like,
Right,
maybe
yeah.
one or two people. There was
Yeah.
some people. I'm like, that mask ain't helping you in this room.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah. At that point.
at that point. So, and that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not. Again, I feel like people are scared to talk about nature, and that's just what we're talking about. It's
Yeah.
like all of a sudden, was disease and death not a thing before this? It's like it's always been a
Yeah,
component to
exactly.
society, and it's like to ignore it or to, restrict people's freedoms. It's
Getting out of hand.
it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel bad for, because you have all these extremely talented people, and the
We're gonna start
lifeblood-
doing more shows. We definitely
Yeah.
that one inspired us to do a lot.
I think
more.
you should.
Yeah.
I think you should, and I'll be there.
Yeah, we're
I
trying to
probably will
just
be there.
basically find the best venue for the situation.
Yeah, that was a little tight in there.
Yeah.
I didn't think so many people would show up, though.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was fucking
It made
wild.
it better, so in a way. 'Cause
Yeah.
if it was a bigger spot and
Yeah.
almost, what I
And
mean?
like I said, I said it on a podcast. I said the fact that it got busted by the cops was probably the most exciting, not the most exciting thing, but it was a freaking hell of a way to end a show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
yeah, we had
let's-
like 20,
it's got a
40
story.
minutes left, probably. It's
Yeah.
like not even. There was like only 3 songs left to be played, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad.
and now
and no one
everybody
got
talks about it.
arrested or
No, yeah,
beat
that's what
up,
I'm saying. I'm like,
so,
dude, thank God, because
Yeah.
that's usually how those things end up. The guys
Yeah.
were just like, go home.
Yeah, especially the one dude started to like mouth up to the cop. I'm like, bro, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like, what are you
And then
gonna
when
do?
they like when somebody else tells them to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the cops will be like, yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
better
shut
to
the
do
fuck
that. What are you
up.
gonna do? It's like this person's getting paid to do this, and then you're gonna tell them to go. It's like, the party's over, bro.
Yeah, just get the hell. You're gonna get arrested.
There's like 20 cops outside.
Bad for you.
Yeah, this
But-
guy's got a bulletproof vest
Yeah.
on. Like, I mean, at least size it up from at least
Bro, sticks and stones, bro.
sticks and stones.
Words.
Right.
Use your words.
Right.
Dude,
That's
well,
it.
going down to Miami sounds exciting.
Yeah, I definitely want to either Cali or Miami. I've been speaking with a couple of buddies of mine that are also studio owners, and we're thinking about maybe throwing down on. One of them wants to move to Cali like ASAP, so we were thinking about investing into
Yeah.
something out there as well, just for the meantime, and then eventually I could think about making the move. But
And I'm sure the strategy too might encompass, getting involved with people who are already pretty popular. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get yourself into that industry more and more
yeah,
that
exactly.
way.
Once we're building up.
Get in
I've
touch
been
with
building-
Riff Raff.
Yeah. Actually, one of my clients went on tour with Riff Raff. Have you ever heard of Chris Lombardi? He was
that
from
sounds
Agawam.
familiar.
No.
He's from Agawam, but he went on tour with Riff
I've
Raff.
talked to so many people in the same sort of group as you, so I
Yeah.
feel like I hear these names a lot.
Yeah, you might. He's still doing his thing, but he moved up. He's a firefighter somewhere up in Mass, a little farther up. So
Oh, no kidding.
he had to take a little break from the shit or whatever. But
Yeah.
he's still doing his thing.
Well,
But,
fuck yeah, dude.
yeah,
Shout out.
I'm running a little
Yeah.
later than I
Oh,
expected.
yeah. Then let's wrap this up. I wanted to give a shout out to Dilli Gang. Shout out
Yeah,
to you,
man.
Dilli. Thank
Definitely
you so much for
appreciate you,
showing
bro.
up, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm really stoked to have you on today.
Yeah, that's like only my inappropriality had me on one time.
Cool.
But that was about it.
Yeah, man.
Definitely, bro.
And yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
bro.
coming here today. Really awesome talking to you. Everything is below to get in touch with them.
Yeah,
so,
definitely, man. Make sure
stay
you
in touch
check
with
all
the
that
stew.
out. If
Stay
you
in
need
touch with
studio
Dilli.
time.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the guy to do it, and he has fun doing it. And I love your work, man.
Yeah, appreciate
I
you,
really
man.
do. I really
Vocals
do.
only,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
take care. Thank you all so much for listening. Peace.